Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round number 11 of the 2025 MotoOption Supercross Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. Kellen Brower in the booth, joined as always by my man, Andrew Wood. He's back joining us for the Seattle round of this championship. We're back out west. We're back where we're comfortable. This is our vibe right here out on the West Coast. I'm excited for this one.
Yes, sir. Me too. It's going to be a good night of racing. I like the West Coast tracks a lot. You know, rainy day vibes up in Seattle, rainy day vibes down here in SoCal. So, excited for the racing. Glad to be back on the West Coast.
Yeah, this is going to be a dry Seattle here tonight, unlike our real-life predecessor that will probably be a little bit muddy this weekend in real life. But, this racetrack, we already saw it a little bit in the preview video. We're not going to see it this weekend, but this racetrack is kind of gnarly.
Yeah, a lot of big things going on, big rhythms, a couple quads we're going to be seeing, different options too. I like when there's one really, really long rhythm section on every track, different opportunities for these guys to show off different lines and what they're really, the risk versus reward. And 250 is doing different lines than 450. So should be a good track, good night of racing, and we're here for it.
We'll get into the championship pictures in just a minute, but obviously coming off of last week in Birmingham, Braden Carter and Colby Eaglin seem to just be kind of going a little bit back and forth with each other when it comes to, gaining momentum in the championship. Right now, it seems to be on Carter's side. Eaglin has to try to find a way to pull it back. Is there anything he can do, or is this what Braden Carter just kind of does?
I think that Braden Carter, like, obviously he's in the driver's seat of this championship right now, and that's kind of what we're focusing on. If Eaglin can kind of claw away and keep taking points and kind of work his way up, he seems to always be kind of the one that's always chasing. You know, he's been that number 2 guy, I feel like, a lot, and that's he's comfortable there. He's been there before, and he's just got to really lock in these last couple races of the championship and just kind of keep trying to chip away at this points lead.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do that here tonight in Seattle. On the flip side, we're taking a break now again from East. It just goes back and forth. We were just talking about it before the broadcast started, how much we've gone back and forth between East and West this year. Back on West, Braden Tharp has been pretty much unstoppable. He's on his way to winning this championship. But as we always talk about every week, these other guys, they just want to win a race, you know? A lot of these guys have never won a race before, and Seattle is a place where sometimes we see some surprises.
Yeah, I agree. I love talking about it every year, and we always kind of see it. I'm a guy that has one pro win in this series, or at least in outdoors, and it's like I wasn't a favorite, but I was like a 3 to 12 guy, and any one of these guys can just have a career night and break out and win, and Braden Tharp is going to be in championship protect mode. So I think that these guys come in, you can qualify 9th fastest, and you just get on the track, get a good start, and you're going to go out there and try to get your first win. And I think that's what's really fun going down. We might have lost the championship battle, but every single week we get to watch great racing between these guys trying to get their first win or their second or third or whatever.
Absolutely, and it's going to be really fun to see that here tonight. Let's talk about qualifying since you mentioned it. This is our 450 standings going into tonight based on qualifying that is now complete. It is past time, so 55.9 Braden Carter, 56.3 for Seth Shirley, Jackson, Sullivan, Eaglin, Carr, all in the 56s. We saw Seth Carr pick up the win last week at Birmingham, but I guess no surprise, Braden Carter fastest. Although I guess in a way he hasn't really done this of late. He's kind of been not great in qualifying and brings the heat in the main events.
Yeah, we've been seeing him, I feel like, more down in the 3 to 5 range, but then you see when the races come that it doesn't really mean anything to him. So I think when you see him 4/10 out front, outside of the next guy, and you got Colby Eaglin, who's 8/10 back, like that's going to be tough for him and hard for him to kind of claw back. Hopefully he can find that race pace and race speed. But when Braden Carter has these lap times, if they can come easily to him, he only has to run 2 or 3 tenths off, and he's still the fastest guy on the track. So Braden seems like he's in the driver's seat for this one tonight. We'll have to see how it ends up, though.
Yeah, and just to give everyone an indication of those watching at home, if you wanted to be 40th fastest and make it into qualifying tonight, 58.656 out of Sonny Spicer was the cutoff time. And there you go, 55.9 to 58.6, so less than 3 seconds. Still this deep in the season to make it is absolutely insane. Let's talk 250 West. Of course, Braden Tharp, 57.8 goes fastest qualifier here, but we can talk about the guy in second, Jake Spieth. Last time we saw him, he won his first career main event in the East-West Showdown at Indianapolis. So he's got maybe a little bit of momentum on his side. It's been now 3 weeks since we saw that actually happen. but pretty fast and only a tick off there of Tharp at the top.
Yeah, and I think Spieth is almost kind of those guys that we're talking about, right? Pulled it out in the shootout when maybe other people were worried about defending their titles and kind of their points gaps, and Spieth just went out there and won it. So having a good qualifying here tonight, maybe he kind of feels like he found something and he's going to really push and get some good results down the stretch. I'd look for him to be one of those guys that pulls off another win here tonight, and maybe Braden Tharp just kind of cruises it in.
Yeah, we'll see if Tharp is maybe in championship mode or not. Let's talk about our 40th fastest qualifier. Looks like there is not one this week. So we got a lower tier of the 250 West guys.
Made it. Huh? I could have made it.
I know you could have made it. It could have
staying home next week.
Let's quickly go over our standings. Like we said, Braden Carter, he's kind of got the ball rolling in 450s. 21 points up on Colby Eaglin, 37 points up on Seth Shirley. Then a bit of a cliff behind that. Luke Sullivan, Jacob Hubbard, Alexis Leclerc having a really good fight right now, actually for fourth in the standings. So good one to keep an eye on between those guys. And then our 250 West standings as well. Yeah, Tharp has got this thing almost done and dusted. Probably could wrap it up even as soon as the second of 3 showdowns coming up in Pittsburgh a few weeks away from now. So we'll talk about that into this evening, and we'll also talk about this racetrack, which it is a doozy, as we talked about in the pre-show. A lot of long rhythm sections, also a bit of a shorter start. Almost has a bit of that kind of Birmingham vibe to it based on how the start and the track flow is. But this long rhythm section on the left-hand side of your screen is probably going to be the make or break one of how these guys get through it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things too, just seeing the start of it. It's a single table single, so you can go step on off, over. You can go maybe quad in on the 450. Who knows what these guys can do? And then a tabletop at the end, one jump before the end, so it kind of changes it. But for me, a lot of it is going to be the back-to-back, as you guys see on the far edge of the screen, the yellow, white, and teal bales right there. Going to be some options for triple quads, triple singles. You know, are you hugging the inside of the 90 going in? You're doubling in, double, triple, single. Like, it's all going to be, there's 3 of those sections back to back that are 7 jumps, 6 jumps, and 6 jumps right back and forth with 180s in between them. So I feel like that's going to be one of the biggest passing spots that we see. And I do think, yeah, a lot of kind of very similar rhythms on this track, but it's going to be all about racecraft, carrying speed in the corners, even off the start here, or the start kind of section is another one that's kind of, I think it's 6 or 7 jumps right there. So do you go basic triple, or are you hugging the inside and you're going double in and double, triple, double? So it's 7 right there. Maybe you can triple quad for the 450 guys. So a lot of very similar rhythms, but I feel like it's not going to be boring. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's all the same thing repeated. But then I see the kind of corners, the way the track is flowing, and I think it's going to actually work out really well for racing. And as you see, that long rhythm section is going to be a doozy. We just missed it, but right here, here's where we're seeing on 250. Still going outside, but still double right here. So yeah, all different lines here going outside, tripling in. Who we got riding right now? Because it looks like me out there on the sticks.
HUD on. Oh, this is going to be bad for the first race of the night.
Oh, no.
I'm going to have to turn HUD off after this race, but I don't want to miss it. Yeah, because we're about to go into the heat. So sorry, we're not going to have HUD for the first race of the night. I'll tell you what I am excited about coming up here is the last straightaway before the finish line jump. I talked about it in the track preview today. Whoops. We got whoops coming into a finish line jump. There's going to be some full-blown sends of guys trying to make last lap passes for a transfer spot, or even maybe to just get 5th place or something in a race. It is going to be absolutely insane watching these guys dive down the inside.
Yeah, and kind of weird too. Like I think there's a roller and then a double on the inside, or you can go outside, triple in, carry speed. So if you're confident with that speed through the whoops, but yeah, dive bombing people. I think those Steve Mathis Memorial Nets are going to get some action over there in that last 180 corner. Also, Brock, sorry for shitting on your lap right there. I know there's a lot of pressure when you're riding and you're the only one on the track. You did great.
Oh, man. By the way, big thanks to It's Not Jackson and Pressure Applier 8, both resubbing up over on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for the support. One of them actually, It's Not Jackson using his Prime sub. Again, if you guys have Amazon Prime and you're over on the Twitch side, it is free to sub to the channel for the month. if you have Amazon Prime and you haven't used your Prime sub yet. If you use it somewhere else, obviously you can't, but definitely awesome for you guys to show your support over there. Really helps us out a lot, and thank you so much for that. Hey, Cody239MX also subbing up again. That's his third month subbing up with us, so thanks so much for the support.
Sheesh.
Also, a couple quick shout outs real quick as well. Live on YouTube tonight and Twitch and Facebook for the first time ever. We are also live on the Start Your Systems Facebook channel, trying some new stuff out. I think we're also going to be simulcasting on TikTok next week as well for Foxborough, so you can catch us anywhere, and maybe we'll do Twitter and Kick and all the other ones after that as well, so that you guys can also follow along wherever you are in the world. No matter what platform you choose to use, you can watch us live here on Start Your Systems TV.
Yeah, anywhere you want to watch, you can find us shortly. So I'm excited for this. I'm not excited for not knowing who. Oh, thank God we have the top on. Okay, yeah. I did not think the broadcast bar was going to be there, but it was going to be the orange KTM and the blue gear.
Yep. We will do our best to try to call these names out, but if we miss a couple, that is just simply because it is tough to call all these names that we are not seeing on the screen. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in here to round number 11 of the 2025 MotoOption Supercross Championship live here from Seattle. It's 250 Heat 1, 9 go to the main. Let's find out who they are. Let's drop the gate in the Pacific Northwest. Off and running off the start, we'll see the 18 of Hayden Stevenson trying to get to the inside on that Kawasaki. Let's see if he'll get there. He will by a nose. Jake Spieth trying to jump by him. Actually, I think that is Caden Speck on the EVP Honda who's getting to the inside, and Speck indeed will take over the lead. It's Speck from Stevenson, Jake Spieth, and Tom Quinault. Stevenson fights right back and gets into the race lead.
Yeah, huge mistake there in that rhythm. Stevenson off to a great start, hugged the inside, just got past for a split second, but staying smooth out there, and he's got a nice little lead right now. Tom Quinault chasing on that Suzuki right behind him. We're going to see how these tight kind of sections back and forth shape up early on with these guys. But right now, this top three we got going pretty smooth, and here's the option line into the whoop section.
Yeah, outside triple in or inside roll double, and then it depends on how good of a run you get in the whoops. As Stevenson goes for a ride, Tom Quinault goes to the race lead around him on that RBT Suzuki. The fast Frenchman takes over the point. It's Quinault. It's Quinault leading the race from Jet Holyhead now, who moves up into second place. So White Drizzle finds his way up there. We also have Cash Woods, Caden Speck able to settle into fourth, and Stevenson, despite going down, picks it up in fifth. But it's Quinault leading from Holyhead. A couple foreign riders out front here in Seattle.
Yeah, pretty awesome start for them. I thought that was Woods going down. Glad to see that he's still up there in that 3 spot. And we see this set for the second time, these guys going through. So electing for that triple on off right there. Very smooth for these guys. They seem to be getting these triple ins pretty easy here at the front of the 250 field. But you saw a mistake earlier too. So it's not like these guys are just kind of greasing them. I guess it's not easy for them. They're getting them cleanly, but I think we're going to see a lot of mistakes when people just get a bad drive. And we're seeing different options again. Quinault going to that inside, electing to have a little bit less speed in the whoops, but then you see Holyhead pull up by hitting the triple on the outside, getting a better run through there.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised so far to see 2 laps in. These 250s are struggling to stay on top of those whoops because they felt a little bit smaller testing them this week, but maybe it's just that, like you said, that inside line trying to get a run and actually plant it on top of them a little bit harder. So maybe outside tripling in is the way to go. Clearly inside here, 2-2-3, the main option for the 250 boys. And then have we seen anything else other than on-off? Not really. Seems to be the way to go here.
Yeah, on-off triple and then triple on seems to be the easiest, though. I did see something in chat. Maybe the 450s might have some Bobby Big lines out there. Oh, look at that. Big mistake on that triple in. That's going to allow Cash Woods over the top of White Drizzle right there. So he's going to move into the P2 spot. And he has been slowly coming up and just finally able to make the pass with the mistake. And then we're going to see these split lines again. Cash Woods going for the outside. I do think the higher speeds, though, we might see more crashes from guys. But, oh, look at that right behind him. Holyhead drops the front, go into the inside. So maybe the speed helps you stay on top, and maybe that's why they felt small to you.
Yeah, I guess if you can get a run through the whoops from that outside line. It's just the way to go. But Holyhead goes down, drops back to 5th now, just in front of Austin Bear right here on the Yogi Designs Husqvarna. Then right behind him is Logan Mortberg, Jake Spieth, our winner last time out in Indianapolis, and Nick Thomasounis, Nicky T, in the final transfer spot. Of course, if you guys follow along on social media pretty much anywhere, mainly TikTok and Instagram though, Nicky T absolutely getting upside down and cranked, throwing big whips on his all-white Yamaha, the Active Co-Rider, with the all-white gear as well. Kind of become known as like the motocross version of the Stig, I feel like, at this point. But definitely some cool stuff that he puts out there. And yeah, man, he's ripped an MX Sim for a long time. I've actually remember talking to him when he was racing pro motocross maybe 4 or 5 years ago and talking about the crossover racing sim versus real-life moto. And now he's one of the more famous TikTok and Instagram guys out there. So cool to see him up here. Let's see if he can hold on to a final transfer spot. Pretty steady so far and a good gap behind him.
Yeah, a couple riders down right there too, so maybe he'll be able to stay off of this bubble spot and get a couple passes. I do love Nicky T because I love that not only does he do full white, but sometimes he also just does full black. Like I like that it's just the all solid color. He's got such a clean and distinct look, and I feel like it's cool to see someone kind of come out and find something that they can kind of make theirs, you know. Ooh, big pile up right there. Nick Thomasounis. Ooh, that's 3 riders down. One of them we couldn't see there. So he just gets a 3 for, oh, no, he's only going to get 2 spots as he jumps into the bales, gets back on track. Now he's right in the thick of this battle, though. Couple mistakes there, and he gets another spot, another rider down. We just saw Nick Thomasounis gain, think 4, maybe 5 spots
5th.
Right there.
That was Austin Bear that went down off the right side of the track, and he gets landed on. That's Jake Spieth down with him as well. Somehow Nicky T stays up right there, but Spieth was down. So Spieth is going to lose the final transfer spot now as this man right here. This is Travis Johnsmeyer moving into the final transfer spot. Another fresh face that we're seeing out here. More of these amateur supercross racers starting to make their debut, coming back out on the West Coast, and he's up here in a transfer spot. Spieth has got to try to run him down there on the 54 behind him.
Yeah, as we see another rider going tumbling. Johnsmeyer, haven't heard this name before. He's got like 3 different names.
Nick T
Thomasounis is down, and so he's going to move up off the bubble, and that's going to allow Jake Spieth to be back inside the transfer. And so now he's trying to put it inside of Johnsmeyer and see if
Oh, no.
I was going to keep rolling with it, and you cackled. Look at this guy. Spieth getting, I don't even know who's who. This could be Spieth. I was so good for the first part, but I lost it. Where we got? Let's reset.
Aaron Priest is not here, man. You're going to get cooked with that one for sure.
Spieth is cooking in 9th. This is Johnsmeyer right here in 8th. He's working his way up. You got ruts developing in the corner early on. Almost through the front door. A little mistimed seat bounce there by Spieth. But he's got more speed, so he's one of those guys that feels like he shouldn't really be back here on the bubble. But sometimes when they do that, they push a little bit harder. And as you see that right there, almost goes down. And that's exactly what I was expecting. Oh my goodness, he is absolutely pushing.
We are getting wild, and time has now expired in this race, by the way, for those keeping track at home. So 2-lap board essentially is out. Oh, we got riders down right here. Who is this?
That's collision for sure.
Caden Speck and a lapper. No, it's actually
Thorson.
Dropping? Yeah, Thorson behind him. So now Speck goes back to the bubble spot, and I think these two just got together. So is there some bad blood going on?
Yeah, kind of weird because there is now. There is now.
Gets into him, and Thorson gets the spot back. So now Speck has to go back to the drawing board. What a move by Tanner Thorson to get his spot back.
I mean, that's awesome and aggressive, but not over the line right there, especially if he was the one that was wrong in that pass. Almost jumps off, though, into the Davlos bales. So that's going to allow Speck to get right back by. Who's that?
Yep,
Speck to get right back by. Thorson's charging, though. Ooh, gives him some room. He already got his free pass. Now I like that he kind of pulled back there. Double triple here, both lines into the whoops. We're on the white flag lap next time around because the leader went by.
Speck!
Over the Davlos bales into the net, and we predicted that was going to happen.
Dude, that was one of the biggest crashes in the whoops I've seen in a while. And Nick Thomasounis yards up after the finish line jump, trying to go for one of his classic whips right there. So suddenly, huge gap for Tanner Thorson. He can almost mail this thing home. speaking of trying to mail this thing home, our race leader, Cash Woods, snuck up there and took this thing over heading into the final lap. He got around the Frenchman Tom Quinault, got to get one more clean run in the whoops, and he is good. Cash Woods wins 250, heat number 1 here. Or, yes, it is over. I forgot our HUD is off. But Quinault gets second. Third is going to go to Hayden Stevenson. Fourth should be Logan Mortberg here, and he will be fine. And then what do we got going on here? This is Holyhead. This is Jake Spieth trying to go in.
Wyatt Grant.
And Wyatt Grant going for a bit of a ride. Pulls it back together, just going to double the whoops. Here's Thorson, who made it up to 8th spot. He's going to be good. Travis Johnsmeyer trying to get through the whoops clean. Does so. He's going through in P9.
Hell yeah. Look at that, Johnsmeyer. Grease in the triple-double. I can't believe they didn't put a wall there. That's
I know.
Absolutely insane, but I guess maybe too much hang time. We will not be able to see cuts, but...
That's okay.
Wow.
We're going to actually jump out of the server right now so I can fix my HUD issue. Again, apologies if you're just tuning in with us that that was not already fixed. That's just something that pre-race I always try to go through and make sure everything's buttoned up, and that's the one thing I forgot because I always hide my HUD to take a good screenshot of the track like you can see here on your screen, and then also to do our virtual lap that we end up doing as well. So just one of those things that didn't get dialed in before our broadcast started here tonight, but that is okay.
You're only streaming like 10 places, so it's okay. You only have 15 windows open on your computer, so 4 monitors here. It's a big production.
Yeah, let's we'll actually take you guys in studio here with us again. Kellen Brower joined by Andrew Wood. You guys are in our intermission screen here. Yeah, what I'm looking at right now is our live stream setup. Facebook here. Right in front of me here is Twitch. Right here is YouTube. Right here is live timing, and over here is Discord. So I've got a whole gamut of stuff right here set up to
and the race
above us
on the TV.
It's on the TV behind the camera here, so it's a hectic thing going on in here for sure.
It's kind of intimidating. Like when I've done streams, I'm like, okay, give me the bare minimum, give me like the 4 things that need to be up, but you got so many monitors going on, so many windows, things that need to be refreshed at all these times, and like the timing of it's actually crazy. It's you've been doing it a long time though. You have it pretty damn dialed, so leaving the HUD on, not that bad of a mistake because everything else goes great here pretty much week in and week out. So.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see what this setup actually looks like, we posted a story on at Start Your Systems on Instagram where I kind of pan across it and then show the screen in the background. But that's, the hope is to try to attract more viewership to the series, get more people involved. Even though it's later in the series, less people might start tuning in. But if we can, get to places like TikTok and a couple other places like that where there's probably more viewership opportunities, we certainly would like to do that down the stretch. So hopefully you guys stick with us and enjoy the show along the way. But yeah, fun first heat race. I like when we start off with like a banger where there's a lot of chaos and then we can get on with the good evening.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like even we've had it maybe once or twice in Triple Crowns where it's just like kind of a dud of an LCQ or something, and you're like, that's not what this is all about. We're supposed to go in and just have absolute hell coming out of the gates, and I think that that one kind of provided for us in the stream tonight. So we're going to move into 250 Heat 2 here. Also, Matt in chat, we're doing great. Thank you guys all for just being here and supporting us. 11 rounds into the season, still have great viewership across all platforms. So good to see you guys and appreciate the questions. And I like to kind of check in on chat when in between the races. So
I love when chat is still active late in the season because we've had some snoozers late in the years in the past where chat isn't very active. We only have like 100 viewers
the
or
race
so.
Sucks.
Yeah, the race is kind of like we know who's going to be the champs and all that stuff. But no, you guys have been great. So thank you again so much for the continued support here of MotoOption Supercross. All right, here we go. 250 Heat 2 is on the gate. That 30 card is up. It has gone sideways, and 9 more riders are going through. Let's find out who they are as we drop the gate here in Seattle once again. This time we can tell you who's going to get to that line first as Jackson Vick runs it deep, but it's Tharp up the inside. Red plate holder triples from the middle line, and the 23 machine is out front here in Seattle.
Yeah, that was impressive start by Tharp there. Wasn't kind of the furthest one up there, but gets on the brakes and tucks inside, and that's exactly what everyone else should have done instead of running it deep. Still getting that triple early is huge, and look at him just trying to nail his marks right here. But he's got Ryan Chelsea, who's one of the only other guys. I think he's second or third in the championship, so he's right on his tail. Great racer right there, a lot of speed. So these two I feel like are probably going to try to separate themselves from the pack. Evan Holtze right behind them, though, does have some speed, but these two look to be checking out early, and as I say that, Chelsea goes down.
Yeah, Cheesecake casing that jump right there as he goes over the bars, gives Starp a nice big lead. Meanwhile, Evan Holt moves up into the 2 spot. Talked to him just before the race tonight, jumping over to the Covenant program. I actually forget why that happened, but he is on a new program this week, so good to see Holtze back at it. And another name that he's been so close to winning a race here in MotoOption Supercross and hasn't quite done it just yet, but we're about as close as we're going to get to his native Canada here in Seattle. Maybe this is a good place to do it.
Yeah, I think sometimes people... I feel like maybe not tracks that you like. I mean, obviously, like the location doesn't really matter. I always did want to do better at Anaheim and San Diego. Like I felt like it would be cool to do it, or just tracks that you like. But Supercross, I feel like changes so much. But you can definitely run into a style that you like. You know, maybe Holtze. I was gonna say maybe he likes tripling out of these 180 corners back to back to back. But I think after 3 times right there, he was over it, decided to lay it down. So he's going to drop back, but should stay in the transfer position here, get back up on his feet. And, hey, I mean, all it has to do, you just got to get through the heat, and it can come together through the main. As he makes a good drive through the whoops. Ooh, not able to get it. Cuts down, though, a little bit of...
Holtze, drop the ball, man.
We gotta talk to you.
Let's wait and see if he gets filthy on the Supercross
on the next triple
here. Yeah, he's chasing down Ryan Cheesecake Chelsea that's moved up into the 5 spot. Are we gonna get some dualies?
Too far.
No, they're not very close. Actually, Sad. Tyler Show in the 7 spot, 8th right now for Timmy Briscoe, and then 9th is Jeremy Schiabro. Dizrick Design is his team name this week. Kind of like that. And then Jackson Vick of the Orst program right behind him there on the 74. So this is a good little battle right here. 8, 9, and 10 on your screen. And, of course, 2 of them are in a transfer spot, 1 outside looking in. Let's see if Jackson Vick can get up there.
Yeah, this is the kind of entertainment you were hiding from us with the HUD hidden right here. But look at this. Oh, up the inside. I didn't think he was going to make it that quick. But Jackson Vick moves up the inside of that Dizrick design bike and just kind of makes it happen. Wow, he really hit that second triple in that section very low. Was able to get to the inside and take advantage of that. Jackson Vick, though, setting his sights forward, going to try to work his way up towards Timmy Briscoe. Rogan McIntosh up ahead of that. So Vick showing some good speed right here, trying to get himself off of that bubble area of the transfer spot and work his way more inside the top 9, get himself a better gate pick for the main event.
That block pass there on Schiabro looked like a carbon copy of Cooper Webb getting into Jason Anderson this weekend, where like they just barely touched, and Schiabro does a little tip over right there. Unfortunately for him, drops back to the 12 spot now. So yeah, like you said, Jackson Vick putting his eyes forward, trying to run Timmy Briscoe down. Then you got Rogan McIntosh up here. Ryan Chelsea still having some troubles there, casing that triple in. There's Tyler Show on the Phil Ski and Snowboard Yamaha. He's now into the 5 spot. Evan Holt moves it up to 4th. Cody Wells here in the 3rd position. Nice ride for him. Evan Vanderkoy now in 2nd, and then a big gap up to our race leader, Braden Tharp. So we'll stick with this one for a second. EVMOVE, EVP's number 46 program, holding on to 2nd place right here. And honestly, kind of been dropping some heat on YouTube lately, putting out some fun little videos each week of a recap of what it's like to race MotoOption Supercross. And they're pretty good entertainment. Yeah,
good little battle right here. I actually like what we got going on just behind them. Those guys are super close. Cody Wells and Evan Holtze right here going for the battle. They've been kind of yo-yoing, not able to get all the way up to the rear wheel of EVMOVE, but EVMOVE is looking good. Cody Wells, though, gets a little bit sketchy there, goes long on the triple, is able to reel it in. Ooh, that looked like it could have gone sideways real fast when your timing gets off. Cody Wells is trying to push, though. I think he's worried about having Holtze so close to him. He'd rather try to get to the front of it, but he messes up, has to double in here. Ooh, look at this up the inside. Nice little pass by Holtze as he cuts down in the corner. Still nails that triple out. Cuts over on him, going to the outside. Let's see what happens here. Side by side into the whoops. Holtze has a better drive, and can he keep it on 2 wheels? Moves to the inside. Oh, free pass right there. As EVMOVE gets a little bit sketchy and runs into the Davalos bales.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, doesn't end up in the Steve Mathis Memorial nets, but has a double legs right there as he lays it back down on the ground. And if you hit the ground hard enough, even from a slight tip over, JLV's physics in-game will just knock you off the bike again, and it pushes EVMOVE back to 8th from that P2 position. So Jackson Vick still hanging out here in 9th, kind of by himself, a 9-second gap behind him. So nothing really doing right there, but we'll keep an eye on those transfer spots and see if anything fun happens. How about a little battle right here, right now? Timmy Briscoe dealing with Ryan Chelsea. This is for 6th. And I feel like Chelsea has a lot of good speed in him, but he's making too many mistakes to stay up there. But certainly pushing Briscoe right now.
Yeah, Chelsea's riding style, I feel like, reminds me of how I would ride. A lot of loose movement here, throwing whips to the rhythm section and stuff like that. But it's just, into a lapper and stays on 2 wheels as Timmy that was Rogan McIntosh for the position. What the heck was that? He just got thrown on his head, but somehow came down on 2 wheels, was able to ride it out. Cool, he didn't get the short end of that stick. But Chelsea, though, I think he has the speed, and no, he goes down. The speed to crash right after I say his name is what he has tonight. I thought if he stayed with Tharp, he could stay away because they're 13 seconds ahead of second, but Chelsea's just fighting for a transfer position now.
I know, he just keeps going down, and now he's back behind Jackson Vick, who moves up to 8th, pushes Chelsea back to 9th. Again, still safe in a transfer spot for now. 10-second gap back to Brady Ginter and Joey Carter, which are battling it out for 10th right now. Here's the fight between these two. And then they almost touch in air going off that triple. So this isn't even for a transfer spot, and these guys are absolutely going for it right now. So is this a smart play here? Maybe settle down, boys, and hope that one of you guys can still make it in, because this is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he just wants to get around him. You see Joey Carter at Dr. Do Racing right there. Always has some great gear showing off. So it looks like he does have the speed. He's trying to say, okay, maybe I made too many mistakes early. Let me put it all together and then be the only one that's able to capitalize if one of these guys goes down in front of me. But right now, he's still on the outside chasing him with a pretty big gap up to Ryan Chelsea. But we've seen Ryan Chelsea have mistakes to the whoop. So Chelsea's getting his last run through right there. See if he survives. A little bit sketchy, but holds on to it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so one more lap now, actually. The white flag came out because our leader, Braden Tharp, was so far checked out from everyone. He actually hit the checker flag way before I thought it was possible.
Yeah, so he's 2 corners from the flag here. That's how far gone he is. He almost got to the tail end of kind of the lead group, still battling for a transfer spot. But this is the Tharp we have come to know and expect in this 250 West division. Get out front, get away, and win. He takes 250 heat number 2 here in Seattle with a valiant and dominant victory along the way. Evan Holt is going to finish up P2 in this one by the looks of it. A little wayward in the whoops, but good in the end. Ends up 12.5 seconds down. Actually ran 58.5 last lap, only 0.2 off of the best time by Tharp. There is Tyler Show coming across. Cody Wells working around some lap traffic right there going into the whoops. Rogan McIntosh 5th. Timmy Briscoe 6th. Trying to get by all these guys. Vanderkoy 7th. Jackson Vick 8th. And Chelsea, so long as he stays up, is going to be good, and he is fine. So these guys all got away, and it played to their benefit. Unfortunate situation, though, for this man, Joey Carter.
Yeah, did Jackson Vick, or maybe he got that on cuts, Chelsea? I just saw him jump up to 8th with Vick in 9th. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know our timing's a little bit ahead sometimes. Yeah, crazy race for these guys. Didn't seem as like, I guess not as close as the front, but still just as hectic. A standard 250 heat race that we are used to seeing. Look at this, Troy Lee Designs replica KTM Dr. Do racing machine with that purple. Look at that, like retro, like video game gear. He's just so cool. I love that he just has his own designs, right? He's just like, graphic design is my passion, and and just goes out and just has something interesting for every race. And it's just him, right? He doesn't have like a team of a bunch of dudes he's sponsoring, and this is half the field. It's just Joey Carter out there kind of shredding and showing us some awesome kits week in and week out.
I'm going to tell Joey Carter of an idea he should do for his gear, since it's always off the wall stuff like this. I think he should, because it looked kind of like it. He should, like the old arcade floors that were like black but had like stars,
like
and
Galaxy.
The Galaxy
Stuff.
I think that would make a sick kit. Like if you just had that as like the print across the gear.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm giving Joey Carter ideas here.
Yeah, maybe we'll see that kit come outdoors. Maybe he'll debut it at Paula for us. I was going to ask you, so Braden Tharp seems to be hitting this point in his 250 season, in his 250 career, where he's just like the dominant 250 guy, showing a lot of speed, good indoors and out. Do we think... is he going to kind of be like one of those guys? So recently I was trying to think Seth Shirley, Seth Carr, right? Guys that became dominant in the 250 class, moved up to the 450, showed speed, but almost like real life, it's hard to go straight to the top. Are they just going to go in, you go from being the best 250 guy to just like a 3 to 7 guy? Like, is that where we see Tharp kind of going in, or have any guys recently like being able to go up and just contend for the title. I mean, no one can really battle with Carter, but
Yeah, it's a tricky one to figure out for sure, because I feel like last year you would have said Seth Shirley, Seth Carr, those guys would move up and immediately contend. And to a degree they have. Obviously, Carr's won 2 races. Shirley's still hanging tough third in the championship. But you kind of have that hope that they do a little bit more, push Carter more, win more races and stuff. And they really haven't. And to be honest with you, I don't know that I see Tharp as really any better or more dominant than what we saw out of Carr and Shirley. So I don't know that I could say he would be the same way, you know?
That's what I don't think so. I'm just wondering if maybe if he can get those consistent starts or whatever. I mean, was it Shirley that we saw come out that was going to win his first 450 race when he moved up on the opposite coast and like, you know, threw it away to save his points in the standing? Like, so it's like they have potential, but that's a badly placed pole. Or a badly placed camera. Gosh, who made these, Kellen?
Wasn't me, man. Wasn't me.
Lock in. 450's on the gate.
Here we go. 450 heat number 1 from Seattle. Let the big dogs eat as we drop the gate and let 9 riders through to the main event. We are off and running. Looks like the 7 of Leclerc got a great jump. Let's see if he holds it to the inside line. He's going to go deep and down. Leclerc down. Pushes a lot of guys out. I think it was barely Alec Horn who got the whole shot. Seth Shirley alongside of him, and then Horn stacks it up in the corner. Creates a bit of a logjam right there, but it is Horn from Shirley, Sullivan, Siebold, and Xander Brion up front here early on. Looks like Sully might think of a move on his teammate there. No, backs out of it, and Alec Horn gets the early lead.
Yeah, Horn was trying to throw that thing away quick right there, like a little hot potato with that lead. He was scared. I'm glad that Shirley didn't go down, because it's cool to see these guys all just kind of have clean starts. Besides that one pile up that caught Leclerc at the beginning, guys going too wide on the start. Everyone else seems pretty clean through this. Look at this pass up the inside, and Horn gets into the bales just a little bit, and that's allows Shirley to get up the inside. Woo! Not Dooley's, because Horn's not tossing it with Shirley, but Shirley's throwing it as he gets to the lead nice and clean, trying to pull away from these guys.
What a move by Seth Shirley. Now, this is the version of Seth Shirley, speaking of names jumping up from the 250 class to the 450 class. This is what we want to see out of Shirley. First of all, good starts, which he's been terrible at this year, never really getting good starts. And second of all, aggressive on the first lap, making a quick move and trying to get away. And look at this, quad. Oh, not going to go for the second quad right there. Going to have to just go on off. But that's the big line that these guys are talking about. 4-4-4 through this rhythm section. I think we're going to see it more often than not for some of these 450 guys.
Yeah, I think you've got guys, there's just certain names, Shirley, Carr, Carter, all these guys that just have, it's not even just their one lap speed, it's their elite corner speed and ability to throw out these big lines. Leclerc has always been one of them. As Horn goes down and gets into Luke Sullivan, you see that SMX plate right there. He goes down. He's going to go from third all the way back to looks about 8th right here, as about 4 guys went by and he lost that spot. Joseph Pilsner, Alec Horn, Seth Carr getting by, and Adam Holm with the best spot right here. A little bit we missed that because I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's a great bit of action going on here in 450 heat number 1. So yeah, we're watching Adam Holm versus Seth Carr right here. That's a good battle. Or maybe even Pilsner versus Sullivan. They're actually tossing it back here as well. So which fight should we watch? We'll watch this one.
This one.
Last week's winner, Seth Carr, who won the Triple Crown in Birmingham, now trying to get up there. So he's going over 3-4 onto the table for the inside line pass, and he's going to get it done on Adam Holmes. So there you go. 2 different options, and you can see even that one just slightly faster than what the 250 boys were doing.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is Seth Carr did a little bit of the Payson Johnson land on your rear wheel and kind of wheelie into the next face, get some pop thing that not many guys have a suspension setup that works, and I haven't really seen anyone hit rhythm sections like that since Payson did. So really crazy to see Seth Carr being able to pull that out of his bag of tricks, and just another different option that these 450 guys are going to show us. And I think that's just going to be better for the racing tonight, as it's going to be what can you pull out in the time when it matters most.
Yeah, this is a big night for Seth Carr to kind of keep the ball rolling from that Birmingham Triple Crown victory, like I said a couple weeks ago. Man, we got some chaos going on back here. What is going on here? We
I don't know, but I like it.
Joseph Pilsner, Alexis Leclerc, Xander Brion, Jeff Cooper, Alec Horn, all nose to tail now. Fortunately for them,
transfers.
they're all in transfer spots, but I don't know that they're going to stay this way with how close they're racing each other, especially different rhythm lines as Leclerc almost lands on Pilsner's back. Pilsner's like, I'm getting the heck out of here. You guys go by me. Goes inside 2-3-1 and then has to watch out for some contact right there. I don't know who that was. That was Brion that went down, and then going off the track there in the background, Alec Horn goes down as well. So knew it. I knew these guys would start getting a little bit overzealous and hit the deck. So I think that moves Colin Allen. It does, into the final transfer spot. Fun story about Colin Allen, who actually raced and almost made it out of the 250 LCQ at Birmingham. He came up to me on track walk at Birmingham and shook my hand and said, appreciate the streams, man. You make Sim look great. And obviously he won at Daytona earlier this year. So check out Colin Allen, man. He's been crushing it IRL and in Sim of late. Cool to see him come up and give a little bit of props and see that the action's been hot and heavy with him involved as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like his I'm only here for Kellen Awood and his team name kind of section, and interesting capitalization. I got my letters capitalized in my name, so that feels pretty good. But Colin Allen riding great here in that 9th transfer spot. But you see that SMX yellow plate right there. Luke Sullivan coming up with some speed. Had a bad get off there earlier, kind of caught up in some carnage. Must have fallen back a little bit more, but he's trying to work his way up inside the points. Look at this. Oh my God, Luke Sullivan just tripled from so inside and so low in that corner. That was like Cooper Webb on steroids. Let's see what he has in the whoops for Colin Allen up the inside. Not going to be able to get there just yet, but definitely putting some pressure on him, and this is going to be a good little last transfer spot battle.
This is a great fight going on right now, and Sully, you can tell, wants it, but Allen is absolutely hooked up on this position right now. They're starting to actually run down Xander Brion just a little bit ahead of them. So what's going to happen first? Are they going to catch Xander up the road, or is Sully going to try to dive bomb a pass here as we get into the closing stages of this already? Sully goes 3-2, 2-3, kind of work out the same right there. Now Sully, any different option lines here? No, same through here. On off 3-3 and out right there off the table. So it's kind of status quo. Anything going to happen here from the 11 in the next couple of laps? Oh, we got a rider down. That's Brion.
Yeah, you see that Sullivan gets into him just a little bit. He must have gone down just messing up that triple the way that he kind of finished there. But that's going to allow Luke Sullivan to go into a transfer spot. It's cool watching the difference between someone like Luke Sullivan and maybe Colin Allen, where Colin, I feel like, needs to like grease perfectly like the rhythm sections. And I saw Luke Sullivan go too long on the tabletop, then kind of case a jump, but he's just still, I mean, that's our SMX champion, still has to go, and he can make that next seat bounce work and keep working his way down the rhythm section while making mistakes and holding that line and not losing time. So it was just really interesting watching him last time through this long rhythm section. I feel like Sullivan does have a little something up his sleeve here, and if he gets the right run, he could probably make the pass down this long section.
Well, let's see if he can get Colin Allen sized up for a pass this time through, and doesn't really need to worry about it as Allen makes a mistake and slowly goes right on by into 8th. But these guys are all in transfer spots. They are cozy now as cozy can get in a 9th place position because they got a little bit of a gap behind them. Instead, all eyes focus forward as Seth Shirley has taken off and ran with this heat race. 57.171 last time by, borderline quali times for the 44 machine out front, and he's not even doing the big boy lines. He's just out here crushing it and getting away from the rest of the field. This could be dangerous. Could Seth Shirley be en route for his first win of the year here tonight in Seattle?
Yeah, I think so. The only thing is we're saying all this without seeing the championship points leader Braden Carter hit the track yet here tonight. But Seth Shirley definitely, with the domination that you're seeing over some very stiff competition, small mistake there, but that's nothing. When you build up a lead this big, you can make those small mistakes. He's going to come to the line here around the corner, huge lead, and throw it or just send it, and he's going to take the first 450 heat here. 57.1 is an insane time to be dropping in the race. Seth Carr, his closest competition in this heat race, is going to be way back, but worked his way up just a little bit to finish second here. Yep, really awesome. Castellaneta, quiet race, good start.
Castellaneta 3rd. Leclerc looks like he's going to end up P4 in this one. Pilsner 5th, Holmes 6th, Cooper 7th, Sullivan 8th. Sullivan actually going to get by Jeff Cooper here in the final corner. Xander Brion is in the final transfer spot going into the whoops, and he will stay there on whoops exits. So Brion goes through. Alec Horn headed to the LCQ, as is Jeremy Siebold, who won at Arlington earlier this year. Ash Deering, Killian Ortiz, Devin Davis, Colin Allen also heading there as well. Maverick Snyder, Chase Blakely, Bodie Parker, Sonny Spicer, Nico Marchini. all going into the LCQ. Tough break for some of those guys, but obviously huge dub in the end for the man, Seth Shirley. And also Lane Burks, iMoto251 in chat, saying that he needs to take his Prime sub back because I only shook his hand. I talked to the guy for 20 minutes, and he never asked for an autograph. I would have happily given him an autograph, taken a photo, whatever it is that he wanted to do, man. But no, it was a good time to chat with him on the weekend and talk stats and talk RF and all kinds of stuff sim-related. And yeah, cool to meet you, man.
Sometimes it's just the friends you make along the way, you know?
Yep.
You don't need this material signature photo. I like photos because my memory sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I see things and I'm like, oh, I did that? That's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's all good, man. And catch
It's
you
all good, man.
at another race or something, we'll be sure to get that selfie done. No problemo. All right, 450 Heat 1 is behind us. 450 Heat 2 coming up next. Of course, we will see our championship leader, Braden Carter, in this one and see what he's able to do on this racetrack versus what we saw already, of course, out of Seth Shirley. I don't know why that comment is hidden. Oh, because he said the F word. Come on, Tharp. What are you doing saying Tharp, saying the F word for? No, but thanks, guys, again for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. Good amount of viewers watching live here tonight, and can't thank you guys enough for the support. One more heat race to go, 9 more riders to stamp their tickets to the main event, and then our favorite races of the night, the last chance qualifiers. Even though there's not a lot of people in 250s tonight, I feel like that actually might make the LCQs better, because instead of a bunch of really fast dudes going down on the start of the LCQ, you're going to have like 9 guys get through the first corner clean and then have a hellacious battle.
Yeah, I think, when you don't have 20 guys going in the first turn, it should be cleaner. How many do we have? It still says
33, so yeah, there would be 11, 12.
Yeah. No, we're dialed. It's going to be great. I'm excited for this one, though. Colby Eaglin and Braden Carter head-to-head. Just someone's brought the 8K skins back out.
Someone did give me 4K skins today, and I don't know who, but I'm about to eject them off planet Earth because I swear you people need to stop giving me 4K skins. It's stupid. Also, what's up, Devin Simonson? Welcome to the chat. All right, here we go. Time for our last heat race of the night. It is 450, heat number 2, coming at you. 9 riders going to the main event. Let's find out who they are as we drop the gate on the final heat race of the night. It looks like the 78 of Hubbard got a beautiful jump. He's riding that rear tire, but he's going to back out of the challenge. Tanner Rogers gets to the corner first, and he's going to triple out, as I think it was Carter who nosed in and got the whole shot.
Oh my.
We got someone quadding in the middle of the pack trying to move into
Hubbard?
a good position, and I think he just took Carter out.
I think that's Hubbard or...
Yeah, it was Hubbard quadding in, and he just took Carter out. So Carter's buried down the field as these guys all go through. Let's go back and find the champ. He is back here behind Spencer Turley, so we got some work to do. Oh, and he just got punted. He just got punted off the track, somehow stayed on 2 wheels, but Carter's got some work to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about this because I know Carter, he's obviously fought through a lot of adversity, but I feel like he does kind of have a short fuse, and it's definitely expected, right? He's won 4 championships in a row, and I feel like he has such a big target on his back, and I feel like a lot of times he has to deal with some unfairness, right? Maybe guys getting a little bit more dirty with him, but I also think it can kind of set him off. So I would like to see him just kind of settle down here, not have to try to put in your hot laps, and the guys are going to make mistakes in front of you. Get back into a transfer spot and then work your way up by dropping the heaters. I just don't want him to get too aggressive or get too inside his head over the first 3 corners of the race.
Well, right now we're watching him in 15th place. Just wanted to stick with it so you guys can get a perspective of what it's like to try to come through the field here on the number 1 machine. So Carter on-off triple again, not going for the big lines, which probably is the safer route right now, especially in traffic, not to get caught out with something stupid. Gonna go to 14th right there, getting around. I think that was maybe Jack Mark that just hit the deck. Now goes to 13th, jumping by Talon Zollers, and then lays it down and gets hit. Somehow stays up on 2 wheels, but yes, indeed, does lose that spot back by, that was Austin Schaefer, actually. A couple guys down in this corner, gets a couple free spots there. Up to 12th, now trying to shoot into 11th. Down the inside here, got a little bit sideways through there, and decided to back out of the challenge. But man, this is intense to see how it goes here early on in this one.
Yeah, the crazy thing is watching this onboard is how smart and how good he is, avoiding kind of chaos, making so many smart decisions. But then, that jump into the berm there, that was just a small mistake on his part, but maybe he is that little bit more flustered than he normally is when he's locked in the zone, and that's when the kind of mistakes happen. So he obviously got a couple gifts back to get some more spots, and he's working his way back up. I have no doubt that he's going to make it into a transfer spot, but it's awesome to kind of watch him work his way up and see the speed and the different lines he's doing around the guys around him.
Well, and what you're getting at home right now is a perspective of just how fast you have to hit these corners to still triple out sufficiently, do some nice scrubs, and get up into a transfer spot battle with the champ here, as he's going to go to the outside trying to get Schaefer. He's going to square him off here through the corner, but Schaefer holds steady. I mean, these guys are all good riders. As fast as Braden Carter is going, these guys are just as capable of doing some damage in this class if they can get a good start and battle up front as well. So Carter's still got his work cut out for him. It's not over just yet of getting into a transfer spot. He's still got 3 more spots to go, and he would have to pass his old buddy there, Jacob Hubbard, to get into the final transfer spot, which is always a bit of a sad thing to do, to pass your friend, but I think Carter will pass anyone. He'll take his grandma out to get into a transfer spot to win his 5th title in a row.
100%. I think it's not Braden or Jacob Hubbard's move right there in that first rhythm in the second corner wasn't like obviously targeted or anything, and it was awesome. He made it work, triple quadded to the inside. But maybe just not the smartest move to do. Obviously, it worked out the best for him in his track position there, but just not really what you want to see out of someone who's not, inside the top 5 early on. It was really cool, but bummer that it ended up with Braden Carter on the ground. But now at least we're getting to watch this kind of fight through the field and see what Braden kind of does with this, test his adversity just a little bit, and let some other guys kind of lead up front.
Oh, rider down right there is going to get another free spot. So, when he almost goes over the bars. Yeah, it was Schaefer who's right in front of him still. Schaefer just got sideways, so Carter goes around the outside of him. Carter now into 10th. He's got one more spot to go. Ben Nerona is in the final transfer spot right now. So we'll see if he's able to hold on. He's on that Bombardillo Crocodillo number 38 ride right now. He's just got all kinds of stuff going on with his name. In case you weren't... you're unsure what his name is. It's in quotations there as well. And he goes down out of 9th. And then Carter gets to go around the outside of him, just threads the needle there and makes it through. So Carter completes the ascension. He's into a transfer spot here with about a minute left on the clock. And looks like we're down to, a minute and a lap left to go. I don't usually do timers for heat races because it'd just be too much work to constantly jump back out and hit the timer on and off. But you guys get the gist. It is... just about probably 2 to go right now. Maybe 2 to go next time by, actually. So Rogers still leads. Eaglen 2nd. Lang 3rd. We haven't talked much about these guys. Caleb Hall and Matt Cromie 4th and 5th. Frank Jackson 6th. Carter now 7th. Schaefer 8th. And Sam Weigman is in 9th. So we'll see if there's another transfer spot battle potentially about to go down as Ben Nerona tries to close up from P10 and get up in this fight.
Yeah, we got some good team names that we're seeing here tonight. I really like it. Not as bad as normal sometimes also. Weigman, though, out here fighting right now, just trying to circle the track and make some passes, but not much. It seems like we've kind of hit a little bit of a stall in this 450 heat race, but probably 2 laps to go as the leader passed by without the timer hitting 6. Just hit 6 minutes for you guys, so... 2 more for these guys to chase around and see if anyone can kind of get up and make their way into a transfer spot. But Ben Nerona, God, I love his team name.
Bombardillo Crocodillo.
Bombardillo.
His kit's kind of sick too. I like this stuff. Whatever he's got going on.
Yeah, it's like a retro
answer.
Like Yeah, it is answer. It almost looked like MSR almost stuff, but
Jacob Hubbard trying to jump over top of him to the inside to get into 10th. Not going to do so just yet, but these two are pushing each other, which is helping their case as they try to close that gap down and get up to Sam Weigman, who is still in 9th place. So final transfer spot battle potentially about to be insane here coming to this final lap. So stick with us. You won't want to miss this one. Meanwhile, up the road, Carter and Weigman kind of dealing with each other still. I'm surprised Carter hasn't gotten away more. And now these guys are really pushing the envelope. Let's see if Nerona hits Mach 12 in the whoops. Looks like Hubbard's going for a ride. He is going to go down. So this is going to be Nerona versus Weigman final transfer spot battle. It's on the last lap.
Yeah, but Carter there, not far enough to kind of be out of the pressure. So Weigman is obviously in the worst spot, but Braden Carter not used to sitting in 8th and being 2 seconds ahead of the final transfer spot. Any small mistake by him doesn't even have to be a complete fall off, and he could lose both spots and be pushed back to 10th place. So sitting in 8th is probably very uncomfortable for Carter right now. But Weigman just kind of pulling away just a little bit, giving himself a little bit more breathing room. Probably half the track to go as we hit this rhythm section right here. Just got to nail 2 more sections and then the whoops, and he's going to be home free into that main event. Still able to pull away, kind of has the speed where it matters most on the last lap. He's looking good so far, Kellen.
Colby Eaglin takes the win in this heat race, but it's coming down to this. Can Weigman get through the whoops clean on the last lap? Gets on the back tire, and he is good. As close as Nerona got, it wasn't good enough. He's going to fall about 1.1 seconds short there at the line as Weigman takes the checkers. Nerona, Turley, Hubbard, Jack Mark, B. Lars, Cooper Hunt, Talon Zollers, Anthony Pachone, Garrett Hollenbeck, John Heilman, and Dylan Delaire all heading back to the last chance qualifier with those guys. We're going to change a little bit of our graphic settings and just knock it down a pinch here. So while these guys keep using these 4K skins, I don't get absolutely shafted with our frame rate anymore. So apologies for that. If you guys were tuning in and had some bad frame rate in that race, we're coming back and we'll be A-okay now.
Yes, sir. I have a question about teams, which seem to not make sense in sim at all. But so how is Phil's still a team if Carter's gone? Because wasn't Carter like the whole point of Phil's ski and snowboard?
He told me that he's only leaving for the end of Supercross. He's going to go back and race for Phil's outdoors or whatever outdoors he does, he'll race for Phil's, but he just wanted a different front fender to look at in Supercross. That's literally what he told me he wanted to change for.
They also change bikes though all the time, and I don't know. Just change. Speculating. I feel like there could be some monetary value involved. I just don't understand how the guy who brings the team name and the team sponsor and all that stuff leaves the team, but then the team stays around, unless all the other guys were just being good and not changing teams mid-season, because that would have been normal, but because if your team folds, just run it, the gear, and set up the rest of the season. Who cares if your leader said they're gone? But
yeah, I
was just interested. I don't know all the drama, and I didn't think to reach out until now.
Question from Lane Burks was asking, why don't I just take the window capture of Hubbard's live timing and use it for the overlay on the stream? And while that would be cool, his live timing is so vast and there's so many different layers to it, you would have to shrink it down pretty small to still be able to see the whole racetrack and then live timing. I really wanted to get a
compact version.
Well, yeah, sort of, I guess, if that's the one way of putting it. But if we could get some sort of broadcast specific display that we can window capture and put on the screen, I'm all for it because I think that would look awesome. So I really wish that JLV's system at the top would be updated at some point. I mean, he made this scrolling thing at the top in 2012 and has never given us the customization aspect to change it. Just gave it to us and left it. So we still look like the speed channel from 2007, but it is what it is. I think that the point is we try to call the race and give you guys the updates on the action on track. Do I wish the graphics on screen looked a little bit better? Sure. But yeah.
I think it's actually not that bad. I feel like all the time, right? We're maybe some app or some widget or something, and all you really have to do is if he could format that differently, to make it almost like what you would get on the mobile mobile version. He already has all the info. He just needs to display it slightly different, and then you just use a capture on that and place it. I feel like that's something we can get done for outdoors.
Even something as simple, and I'm not a scripter, so I'm not telling Hubbard how to do his job, but just give us what is already there with just the position, the number, and the rider's name, and then the time left on the clock in some sort of cooler looking graphic on a page. And then we can take that window capture and put it on the screen. And then what I could even do is, instead of having to go back and re-put in 250 LCQ, 450 LCQ, all that little graphics that I put on the screen, we just reference this. I never touch the time. We balloon out the windows capture a little bit more so it cuts off the top bar, and then we just use that. I think that's something that would look really good and be really cool. But again, I'm not going to tell Hubbard how to do it or whatever. I think he does a great job at that already. So anyway, let's call the action here for the final 250 race to qualify in. It's the last chance qualifier off and running. Again, not many riders on the gate, but that might make this race a barn burner. As Joey Carter tries to get to the outside, he's just barely not going to get the whole shot. Austin Bear, I think, did get it, or who was that on the Honda up the inside? That was actually Caden Speck, excuse me. But it is Carter from Bear, Robitaille, and Schiabro up here in the early runnings. And look at how close everyone is, because they got through the first corner clean, but we might not get through much clean after this. How are we still all up right now? That was chaos.
I thought every other person was getting landed on. Oh, we finally got it. Someone gets landed on, does a backflip. Someone gets cleaned. Someone got hit and rode it out. This is absolutely crazy. Brazil is going crazy. Give me those Brazilian flags in the chat, because Arthur Miranda is up here and in the transfer spot, running third. He had a pretty good heat race, was just a couple spots out. I think he finished 11th in his heat. But, man, he's absolutely sending it right now and survived all the chaos. But he's trying to work his way forward and see if he can give Austin Bear a run for his money and solidify his place in the top 4 even more.
I'm with you. We need a wall of Brazilian flags in the chat. Make it look like Enzo Lopes just got featured on Supercross Live, because the comment section about to be Liddy 250 with some green, yellow, and blue flags galore. Arthur Miranda is up here. Awood goes right to bat for me. Good job, Awood. You know what's going on. Miranda's still up in the 3 spot. Caden Speck is in 4th and kind of by himself. Schiabro 2 seconds back of him, so we'll see if Schiabro can close that gap down. Actually, it looks like he's maybe already starting to tighten it up just a little bit as this 250 last chance qualifier battle continues on. Joey Carter getting away from Austin Bear, Arthur Miranda, and Caden Speck. But here comes Jeremy Schiabro as Speck almost goes over the bars. He slices through the jumps right there, so he doesn't have to triple in, and Schiabro is going to be right there. This is going to be a great fight right here.
Yeah, it's Speck almost looked like he was he almost looked like he had some speed where he was outside of a transfer spot because he had such a big gap, but now he's really going to have to show some speed as Schiabro is really pressuring him from behind and going to try to make this pass. A lot of room behind this battle and a lot of room in front, so it's really just mano-a-mano right now for the transfer. And it's kind of nerve-wracking as a racer when it's just you and one other person. You know, you can't really bet on other people going down or someone else getting into it. But look at that. Off the track, Jeremy Schiabro keeps it smooth.
Miranda.
So goes in. So Miranda goes down, and that's what caused Austin Barrett or Caden Speck to jump off the track and gives both of them a transfer spot, as now our Brazilian friend right here is the outside looking in. Jeremy Schiabro, though, still trying to push up and work his way into a top 3 spot.
Yeah, these two are still going at it, even though it's not for a transfer spot anymore, as Carter checks in with fastest lap of the race out front. Austin Bear starting to fall back into the clutches of these two, so you never know what could go on up here. And if you're someone like Arthur Miranda, or even behind him, Liam Roella still trying to close that gap down, just stay close, because if these guys up here start getting together and fighting each other, even if they don't need to, they could end up going down together as well. So we'll see what happens in this 3-rider train up here, if anything happens. Also, shout out Liam Roella, who I don't see race very much. He's not one of the types of guys that we see race a whole lot, but he makes his teams look sick all the time, and his renders are, I don't know, maybe some of the best renders we've ever seen in the game. It's definitely up there with Batusta quality. Insane stuff that Liam does week after week, so shout out to him. Always puts some great work together. And he's closing up on Arthur Miranda, as meanwhile, Schiabro and Speck still just going at it right now for 3rd place. Again, they don't need this, but they're still going for it regardless, and they got to be careful that they don't get into each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think for them, it's just trying to work their way up and maybe get another spot, maybe even get some good feeling for the main event later on if they're both going to make it in. So might as well get some more track time and get some more good racing, because chances are you're going to be in a battle like this for most of the main event. So kind of drop it on the other guys and show them who's got the most speed out of whoever you're battling with and work his way up. Joey Carter is pretty good at the front, but these two are having their own little race, and I almost feel like it's helping them settle into the same pace. Now they're doing race pace in the LCQ instead of just qualifying. Ooh, look at that. 4 over the table to the inside. I like that line.
Yeah, it doesn't work out as well in this rhythm section, but stayed close enough, so keeping the pressure on Schiabro. And now there's also a massive gap from Austin Bear to Arthur Miranda, 4th back to 5th place. over 13 seconds. So really these guys are all pretty safe. It's just about having a race with each other, as Joey Carter's already checked in out front. So 2 to go this time by, because time just now expired this time by as our race leaders check in over the finish line jump. So these guys going at it still, second, third over that little single jump right there. And then Austin Bear, who's fallen off the pace a little bit from these guys, 105.1 last time by, but big enough gap behind him, I think at this point, just maybe double the whoops, man. You'll get through okay if you just double all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah, looking at timing right now, Austin Bear has a 15-second lead over 5th place in this race. So obviously less guys in this race. We're going to see closer racing and cleaner starts up front, but I do feel like there is a bigger gap in maybe talent out there. So Austin Bear just has to keep it on 2 wheels. Anything over 10, 12 seconds at the max, you're feeling good. If you have a crash, you could get up and stay in your position. So Austin Bear just going to kind of coast this thing in. When the leader comes around, who just did, we now have the white flag out. So Bear has about a lap and a third to go, and he's going to be moving his way into the main event. Look at this.
Even roll double into the whoops. He's still going to hit the whoops, but
I think he told you. He was like, I can't triple. Oh, someone's down. Was that Schiabro? That was Caden Speck. That's Caden Speck in the Davos Fails out of your 3rd place position. So he's in 4th. He does have time back to 5th where Liam Roella is, but not that much. So now he's on the bubble. One more big mistake and Speck's not going to be making it.
Yeah, Speck has really got to make one good clean lap here to finish this thing off, and he's getting a little bit sideways. So Liam Roella trying to make it in there for District Design's #staples. I don't know what that means, but he's trying to close that gap down. He's only about 3 seconds back at this point in time. And if you're Caden Speck, maybe you're freaking out a little bit because you don't want to blow this now because it's closer than it should be given the gap that he did have up to this point. He's going to go over table 3 again. Meanwhile, Joey Carter takes the win in the last chance qualifier out front. Schiabro will pick up 2nd. 3rd for Austin Bear and Speck. Let's see if he holds on here. He's got to get a good run in the whoops here on this last lap.
Yeah, Caden Speck just has to kind of, like you said, keep it on 2 wheels, take a deep breath, and he's got this now. Got enough of a gap to not really have to worry about it. There was a little bit of pressure there at first. Still going to go for the blitz and the whoops. Got to have that confidence after going in the Davos Fails. I would not have done that. But here he goes, number 69, Caden Speck, brings it into the main event, and Liam JT, I don't know how that works, Roella is going to be the odd man out. Ryan Anderson as well on the Lansford Motorsports machine, coming across P6, throwing half a front flip. And Arthur Miranda, our Brazilian sensation, is going to drop back. Someone said we're like RC and Lee Diffie. I was going to say, that bad? I'm just kidding. Carl Robitaille. I
think it's Robitaille. Yeah.
Robitaille on the yoga machine. Hey.
Dustin Garrett bouncing through the whoops. Zach Ritchie's going home early. Brady Ginter, Joey Bradstreet, myself in warm-up mode. I think we just got a 5th tap off of this berm over here. Nope.
Kellen didn't even make it down the straightaway. Everyone clip it.
Clip it.
Oh, my God. That guy won a moto.
C-Class, I know. Well, 11 years ago now.
It's okay. So this guy, Chase Benjamin, first time watching us since 2015. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah,
no, it only took you 10 years, but he made it back. I think we got to really lock in, though, and we got to try to get a nice, good dualies.
What do you think Chase Benjamin now? So he's here for this, right? But do you think that he'll watch this and then he'll come back in 2035 and watch this again?
Yeah, I think
take another 10 years off, come back.
Yeah, okay, so I was going to ask this. This is way too hard there's no stats on it. I just have to go look because there's so many streams that are gone. When was the first time I did a stream with you? It had to have been probably 2015. I think it was before I finished racing because we used to do them like in TeamSpeak.
None of those are gone, by the way. We have an archive of everything 2015 on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
My race is gone now. 2013 is gone.
2014 and before,
we're screwed.
Spotty at best to try to find coverage, but
because I want to see.
Well, Nickerson had a lot of 2014 stuff. My race is still on YouTube.
Okay,
but I don't know where yours is.
I tried to find mine and I can't. I looked like live stream, all these things, but I do want to know how many that I've done because when I drive, I always come to you with all these questions. Oh, this is what I thought about. I have an hour and a half in sitting in traffic, so I was sitting there and I'm like, how many have you done? From the start, like I want to see like Sween and this because we always know Sween was the god OG, but it's like if he only did like 70, you know, and then if you've done 250, like it's crazy how he was like the first and like the best, but to see how many Chris did and you did and me, because if I've done 50, that's 200 hours of streams, and I think it's more than that, which is crazy.
So, you know, this is our 11th year of Start Your Systems, and there's been at least 29 races every year, plus 10 GPs for like 4 of the years or something. So it's over 300 now for me.
Races.
Yeah, 300. Well, streams. Yeah, races.
Streams. And you do like AMs and stuff? You would do Tuesday nights sometimes, right? Or whatever racing used to be on Tuesday. But
yeah. Well, you know what's crazy to think about with that is that in some degree, you and I have spent over a whole year of our life living race day in MX Sim. Because if I've done 300 streams and then give or take another 50 or so before that I raced in or competed in or whatever, then yeah, we've been at 365 plus sim races.
Yeah,
you know? Like it's crazy.
Like if you add up the days, sweating my ass off in summer doing nationals. I remember just in my underwear, just sitting in the middle of summer, just trying to wipe your hand on your computer chair, your leg or something, because you're sweating doing a 35-minute moto.
Oh man,
SoCal baby.
Yep. All right, here we go. The final qualification race of the night. 450 LCQ is off and running here in Seattle. No surprise to see Jacob Hubbard get a good jump. Does he control it though? That's the question. He will. He's going to get the whole shot in this one. Watch out for some guys getting quadded on in the background. A few guys going down. Looks like Nerona gets second. Turley third off the start. And we got Belars up here in fourth. So some heavy hitters in the front of this 450 LCQ. Let's see if they all stay up here. Like we said, early runners, it's Hubbard, Nerona, Turley, and Larson. But everyone's stoked to see Turley up here, right? What's up, my dudes? He's in third.
Yeah, I was going to shout out Turley in the heat race, and he got collected in that Leclerc crash, I'm pretty sure. And I saw the purple seat just tumbling off the track. Cool to see Nerona, who just missed out. Hubbard, who had a great start. And his teammate and our friend Brandon Larson back there in fourth, who just goes down. Commentator's curse, I'm sorry. He is like normally a pretty good starter, but you got to keep it on 2 wheels all the way. Maybe struggling with the whoops tonight. Gets up, goes down again. His night is probably over as we move back up here. Devin Davis, Chase Blakely, Maverick Snyder, Heilman, Killian Ortiz, and that's all the way up to the transfer spot. So he is on the bubble.
Yeah, he's in the fourth and final transfer spot as Hubbard leads at the end of lap 1 from Nerona, Turley, and now Ortiz, who's just in front of Maverick Snyder, John Heilman, and Jeremy Siebold. All guys in the 10 to 16 range in terms of national numbers. And look at that. Ortiz makes a mistake and Snyder jumps right by into the final transfer spot. So 3 riders getting away out front, but this fight for fourth is heating up. It is Snyder, it is Ortiz, it is Heilman, who thought of an inside move right there, backed out of the challenge. And then don't forget your 2020 MotoOption Supercross champ, Jeremy Siebold, back there on the 10, is starting to lurk on that KTM. Ortiz getting a little bit sideways, entering the whoops, pulls it back together to keep Heilman at bay. But, man, watch Siebold right now on the 10. I think he's going to get up here and try to make some passes.
Yeah, Siebold just kind of lurking back there, almost in a really good spot. I do like Heilman, though, for the whoop speed that he had there. Showed some really good strength. And this is not a fun spot to be in an LCQ. You have a past champion and another guy that's just showing amazing speed right behind you while you're sitting on the bubble and just trying to chase it down. But look at this. Heilman has a lot of pressure right there, up to Killian Ortiz. Back and forth we go. Ooh, better run through by Siebold. Jumps on. No, it almost looks like they have so much speed if they downside the jump, but then it gives them so much pop, it slows them down.
Ooh,
next time.
Siebold wanted an inside move right there, but backs out of it, goes 2-3, and kind of stays right in tow right there. Now the question is, who's going to get the better drive in the whoop? Siebold's going to dart to the outside here and triple in. He'll have a good run in. Does he stay up on top of him cleanly? He does. This is tightening up as Heilman was thinking about a move on Ortiz. Also, Turley's just off the front of this group, and no one's made any mistakes just yet. So Turley jumping out on the start straight right there in front of Maverick Snyder. Oh, Heilman jumps off the track, gets back on right in front of Siebold now, and Ortiz is now becoming a bit of a roadblock for these two to try to get up there. Heilman goes in to the inside to try to make the pass and slides out. Siebold had to come to a complete stop to not hit him, and neither of them get the rhythm line clean. This is really helping out Maverick Snyder in fourth.
Yeah, it almost looked like Heilman was starting to realize he was getting slowed up, tried to make a move too fast on the landing of the triple when he slid out there, and then bummer that it bumps Siebold back just a little bit because you start to see a gap, small gap forming in front of Ortiz right there on the green machine. So see what happens. Look at this triple to the inside, triple double by Siebel. Not going to get close enough though. These guys have to figure out a way to make a move.
Oh, and Hubbard was
Hubbard down out of the lead.
Our leader, so Nerona goes to the front as Hubbard falls right into this trap of riders back here. He gets up behind Siebold but can't get the pass. And look at Heilman forces his way down the inside of Ortiz. Dooley's Triley's over that finish line jump. Siebold gets ran high by Ortiz, who puts the block pass on him. It's Heilman, who's right here on the Honda CBR number 16, who's in the final transfer spot. Look at Hubbard trying to go inside in that right-handed corner after the start to try to get Siebold. Siebold gets the door shut on him by Ortiz, and then Hubbard lays it down by running into the back of Siebold. So Ortiz still playing a bit of defense here, trying to keep Siebold at bay, but Siebold wants to go up and make a pass on one of these guys up here. Might get a pass done here on Ortiz. He does. He gets by him, so now Siebold is free to try to run down John Heilman in that fourth and final transfer spot.
Yeah, don't look now. Devin Davis sneaking up into the 7th spot. I do like that I highlighted Heilman's whoop speed, and that's actually where he ended up making that pass. He had to find the one spot on the track. He was faster than Kilian Ortiz and was able to run it up the inside and make the pass happen. And
and then he blows up in the whoops and goes down. So Siebold goes by. Ortiz, Hubbard, Davis all going through. Colin Allen finds his way as well. So all that hard work by Heilman, and immediately it's gone. And now instead it is going to be Siebold on that transfer spot with Ortiz, Hubbard, D. Davis. They're all still right there. Nerona hasn't really gotten away out front, but now it's Siebold's turn to try to hold on to this fourth and final transfer spot.
Yeah, bummer. Sometimes having that elite whoop speed means you have to place that wheel perfectly on top of the third whoop, and if you miss it, you're going to go right over the bars like that. Very weird to see a crash that early in a whoop section. I feel like most of these guys start swapping later on. But Siebold doing a good job here, fighting through a little bit of adversity and kind of getting held up, able to keep his tempers down and holding on to this transfer spot, though. He's got to try to see if he can make a move, though, because he would really like to be more comfortable passing Maverick Snyder and having a little bit of a buffer here than sitting on the bubble when all these guys have been so close all race. And he's getting pressure from right behind him with Kilian Ortiz trying to make a move. And Jacob Hubbard, who's very fast. 1 lap to go, though. I think he might be able to hold on to it.
Yeah, white flag in the air as we got lap traffic. Oh, that was close with a couple of those guys.
He still hits him.
Hubbard goes down on him. That's a tough break right there for the 78. Nerona still leads from Turley. Snyder and Siebold are the two riders on your screen right there, and it is close with Ortiz trying to tighten it up from behind. D. Davis is back there just in case anything gets a little bit more sideways to try to get up there and maybe get 2 passes to get into the final transfer spot. So suddenly, Snyder looking a little bit wayward. Is Siebold going to try to make a pass on him? Not quite, but that's allowing Ortiz to get back into the picture. Neither of them get the preferred rhythm here, and here comes Ortiz.
Yeah, you don't need to make that move, really, because you're both in the transfer spot, but you have so much pressure from behind. It's opening the door for Ortiz. As Siebold makes a huge mistake, gets just into him, and he's able to bring it out just a little bit. Let's see if Ortiz has one move through the whoops.
He's going to go full speed into the whoops to try to get it here into the final corner. Siebold passes Snyder in the final corner to get third, but Snyder goes through as well in fourth. Man, that was close as Nerona wins from Turley, Siebold, and Snyder just making it through. I can't remember an LCQ where we saw guys stay up that much. They were pretty much on 2 wheels from start to finish in that transfer spot battle, and what a good one it was.
That was absolutely insane. I feel like that pack, first got away for a little bit. Hubbard went down. Nerona was the only one that was completely silent there. I did forget that Turley was able to just kind of run away and hold out into second, but man, that battle, Kilian Ortiz, Heilman, all those guys moving on back was just amazing, and good to see Siebold go through and then make that Snyder as well. So awesome race for those guys, and man, the 450 LCQ feels like it always delivers week in and week out.
Yeah, this one was insane how close those guys were all together, and in the end, it's Nerona from Turley, Siebold, and Snyder going through to the main event. Ortiz, Davis, Heilman, Blakely, Zollers, Hubbard, all going home early. I mean, Heilman ran a 57.4 on the last lap of the race, only was 13 seconds back of the leaders, and still is not going through. That is how close it still was for everybody in that top 10 group, basically all the way down to Jacob Hubbard. But Nerona goes through, and we're headed to the main events.
I'm gonna use the restroom.
All right.
Get one more cerveza. There's some hydrates in chat, so.
Yeah, you can bring me one. Sure, why not? There's some hydrates in chat. We'll have a little bit of beverages for you guys here this evening to call some main event action, because 250 main event coming up here from Seattle. This is round 7 of their championship, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, round 7 of 10. So we're getting down to the stretch run of this series. Tharp trying to get another win here tonight, but he's got a host of riders coming behind him, including Jeremy Schiavo, Cash Woods, Jake Spies, Tyler Show, Evan Vanderkoy, Evan Holt, Logan Mortberg, Wyatt Grant, Joey Carter, Jackson Vick, Caden Speck, Hayden Stevenson, Jet Holyhead, Austin Bear, Timmy Briscoe, Travis Johnsmeyer, Ryan Chowsey, Cody Wells, Tom Quino, Rogan McIntosh, and Tanner Thorson make up your 22-rider, 15-minute plus 1 lap 250 main event, round 7 of 10 in 250 West. Great to have everyone with us still here tonight. Reading some of the chat messages real quick. Not a Triple Crown race. We're going into our one and only main event right now. And let's see what else we got going on. Jack says time to start bumping guys up to pro. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really feel like there's a point where you get halfway through the season. Like if you start letting some of the amateur guys race past the halfway point of West and East, I think that's totally fair. Just because otherwise, like, you don't get them in this weird championship fight, and then they can learn the ropes a little bit. So I think we should let some of the AMs come up. The only problem is the Race Factory Gaming guys are like 3 weeks behind on licenses to begin with. Just got a few more DMs today about that, so it'd be nice, it would be nice if the licenses were updated a little bit more than they are right now. Great. Anyway, get this main event rolling, shall we? Get our timers up on screen. Make sure you guys can see that graphic as well. Put a 15-minute timer on the screen when the race starts, so you guys will be able to count down with us to the end of the race. But Mr. Tharp, 47-point lead in the championship, trying to keep the ball rolling here in Seattle. So here we go, round 7 of 250 West coming at you from the Pacific Northwest. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? Who is going to win the Seattle Supercross in MX Simulator for 2025? This is where it comes down to right here, folks. 15 minutes plus a lap. 30 card is up and sideways. Revs are up. Gate is down here in Seattle. Who gets that hole shot? Looks like the 18 is Stevenson's trying to get there. Joey Carter from the deep outside out of the LCQ rips the RaceFactorGaming.com hole shot, and a lot of guys going down out of turn 2. It's Carter leading. Cash Woods, Johnsmeyer's up here as well. Just want to double check it's not a red flag. No, it's not. Carter out front. Yeah,
Carter has his starts dialed in. Man, he straight from the LCQ, he seems like he's gotten a good one in every race he's been in. Just a little bit missed opportunity in the first heat race. Joey Carter, though, leading for Johnsmeyer. Ooh, Cash Woods just got by him. Evmove. A lot of the guys we saw in the LCQ or in kind of late transfer spots up front after all those riders going down early.
Look at Joey Carter taking off and running with this thing. 3-second lead at the end of lap number 1 for the Dr. Do Racing KTM program. It's Cash Woods second, Evan Holt third, Vanderkoy fourth, and Show rounds out the top 5. Where's our points leader? 14th for Braden Tharp. He's got some work to do, and the door is flung wide open of opportunity for some of these guys to go win this race. Tharp actually has not won since, I believe, Glendale, because Cash Woods, I believe, won the Triple Crown at Arlington, and then the showdown was won by Jake Spies. So some of these guys want to get up there and go win this race at all costs, and of course it all starts with Joey Carter out front, but this fight between these two also could be a battle for the win if Carter makes a mistake.
Yeah, it's crazy. We talked about this just before the race. Braden Tharp has such a big lead, though, in the championship series that he doesn't need to go out and win every race here on out, and it allows the door to be open. He just needs to focus on maybe getting up and getting inside the top 10, really. But, man, Cash Woods out here, I'm sure he'll do better than that. Cash Woods, though, with a great start holding on in this race, looks like it's going to be a good one. As long as these guys can keep getting through the whoops clean. Ooh. Almost get together there is a small mistake by Woods. Lets Holtzy go right up the inside, not able to make the move just yet, but showing him that the door can be open soon.
Yeah, I think Holtzy really wants to make a quick move here on Cash Woods, but they're both running a pretty similar pace as we've seen kind of throughout the night. It's tough to gain time or make a pass of really anything throughout the field. Tharp's still 14th, for example, here 2 laps in, so he hasn't really gone very far forward either. So it's still Carter, Cash Woods, Evan Holt, Vanderkoy show the top 5, Schiarbro 6th, Quino 7th, Holyhead 8th, Bear 9th, and Johnsmeyer inside of the top 10 here in what I believe is his debut, or maybe he raced around earlier this year, but it's been a while since we've seen the West guys. Hayden Stevenson, your Anaheim 1 winner, is right behind him as well, so he'd like to get his second win of the year if he can get up here, but obviously it's going to come from someone up here, I feel like, because I don't see a situation now where Tharp gets through all these guys with how fast everyone's running a pace here tonight.
Oh, Holtzy goes down huge in the whoop section, dies right in the middle. See if these guys can get around him. Everyone making mistakes, but still able to kind of get through while turning in the whoops. That's always hard to do. Holtzy drops back, but yeah, I don't think so. He's in 7th now. I don't think that he's going to be able to make it through everyone, especially with some heavy hitters between Tharp and the front of the field. I do think maybe top 5's not out of the picture for him, but he's just got that elite speed. But like we said, he doesn't need to win, and it's really opening the door for a lot of these guys to go out there, get their first win, get their second win, and just really build some confidence coming down the stretch leading into outdoors.
Well, Tharp is, not making a ton of progress just yet. 13th place for him. Jake Spieth behind him actually just ran the fastest lap of the race. But if you're Tharp, you're already 20 seconds off the lead, and we're almost 4 minutes into this race. So you got to hope some real chaos happens up the road, I think, to still win this race. We've seen it before. MX Simulator can get weird and wild like that, but there is some huge hitters up here trying to get away at the front of the field. But this man is still doing it. 2.5 second lead for Joey Carter out of the last chance qualifier. I mean, the speed was there in the heat race. He just was so far back he couldn't do anything with it. This time gets the whole shot, and he's off and sprinting. Now the question is, can he hold it from here, or would someone like Cash Woods just run him down straight up on speed?
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like he had decent speed in the LCQ that we saw. Yes, it is a shorter race. You don't have to be locked in for so long, but I mean, Cash Woods has the speed, but also maybe not the most consistent guy, but I feel like Carter, if he's locked in at this level, it almost feels like a Colby Eaglin type of guy where you might be a little bit off the pace, but so smooth and consistent. And I feel like Joey Carter's just really gelling with the track. You wouldn't be throwing scrubs mid-rhythm section if you weren't. And man, off to another great start. It's awesome to see this from him. Gets a little bit of huckabuck through the whoops, but it's kind of what you're going to get every lap in these big pro race whoops.
Yeah, well, and it's going to help because as these guys go through the whoops, they're beating them down a little bit lap after lap and making a good kind of flat notch on the top of them. They always get a little bit better as the race goes on. So if you're Joey Carter, you're just like praying that you can stay steady in these bigger, taller whoops early in the race, and then when they get better late, you'll obviously be a little bit more consistent. But that time by, Cash Woods 59.1 to a 58.7. Joey Carter did inch away just a little bit, but it's still just 2.7 seconds. It's not that big of a gap. And obviously, just a little mistake here, a little mistake right there could easily let Cash Woods back in the picture. Another thing as well, we're not far off from already hitting lap traffic. That's how fast these guys are going at the front of the field.
Yeah, and when you have big crashes off the start, right, it's going to make those pile-ups early on, then they're going to crash even more. So you end up running into those lappers faster than you normally would if everyone kind of got off the gate clean. But Joey Carter being able to run faster laps than Cash Woods here early is a really good sign. If he's got a spotter telling him what's going on behind him and he's feeling as comfortable as he looks out there on the track, I think that's a really good omen. I think he even extended his lead a little bit there with the lap times that they ran that time around. So really cool to see that happen. And guys that you think maybe some bigger names, Holyhead, Tharp up to 8th, Holyhead in 7th, Schiavro back there that you would think maybe would have the speed, just it's not always there tonight, and it does look like it is for Carter. So awesome to see him in his bright purple gear, and yeah, cool to see him.
Yeah, well, Tharp went up to a 58.4, so he's lowering his time down even more. He's now up in 8th spot, 19.5 seconds off the race lead. So again, still not over just yet. On whether or not he could get up here, as lap traffic is going to start coming into play a little bit now. Oh, Carter mistake off the track, bad run into the whoops. He still goes for it and does get up on top of him, but here we go. Cash Woods is right there, and we got a battle for the lead here in Seattle coming up on the halfway point.
Yeah, and this is a 2-horse race. Your third place rider, Jeremy Schiavro, is way back 10 seconds, so it's all about these two right here. Let's see how Carter can do when he's under the gun with some pressure right behind him and see if he's able to get back on the horse and kind of pull away.
All right, here we go. Two riders poking away from the rest of the field at the front. Here's an inside move for Cash Woods trying to get the lead. He's not going to go for it, as it looks like Joey Carter read that like a book, tripled to the outside corner, and just railed it to get back into the race lead quickly. But this is going to be fun. 9-second lead over Jeremy Schiavone for these two. So they're kind of in a position, too, where they can throw caution to the wind, because even if one of them goes down, they could still get up in second place, which is obviously a great position for them to be in. But they want to win this race, and they want to win bad. Cash Woods has already won this year. Joey Carter has never won before, as he almost goes through the front door entering the whoops. Hearted mouth moment right there. And now the mistakes might start coming through, because this is getting nervous time. We're into the second half of this main event.
Yeah, that's the exact same spot. He made a mistake last time around that allowed him to close up on him like that. So I think Joey Carter really just has to get through this lap, nail that section one more time to maybe kind of forget about it and let that kind of thought pass in his head that he's been messing up there. But he's got to survive till that spot. He does get the double, triple, double there, able to pull a little bit away. And Cash Woods isn't able to kind of put his bike up there, give him some revs and kind of show him that he's that close. So Carter with a little bit more breathing room, but Cash Woods still in a really good spot here. Just can kind of sit and wait for any mistakes. Just got to keep going smooth. But Joey Carter looks comfortable because he's throwing a bunch of whips and stuff, but also might just be kind of freaking out a little bit out of control. That's how I always was. And let's see what happens right here. Oh, Cash Woods, small mistakes, but Carter off the track.
Oh, he's not going to get very good on top of the whoops. Wow, he landed perfectly on that third whoop. But like you said, a mistake in the background there for Cash Woods. He's now 1.6 seconds back. Meanwhile, Tharp has climbed up to 5th. He's still 19 seconds off the lead because, again, these guys have not made many mistakes out front or gone down. But he is up to 5th, so inching forward as a few guys get picked off. It's still Schiavone 3rd, now 8.5 seconds back. 17 seconds off the lead is Jet Holyhead as Tharp is closing up on him. Let's go back at that battle really quickly. There's Holyhead, there is Tharp. And Spieth is coming with Tharp as well, who won, obviously, in Indianapolis. So that's a fun fight right there. 4, 5, and 6 on your screen just going to work. And they're working on getting around Holyhead here to get up into 4th place. Not able to do so just yet, but it seems like that pass is going to be inevitable at some point. Look at this inside move even for Tharp through the rhythm section. Just a little bit of a notch there on that triple. Now, where does he try to size up a pass right here? Wait a minute. We got to change the lead. Joey Carter's down. Joey Carter is down out of the lead. Almost made it to the 10-minute mark, and he lays it down in a pretty weird spot. I did not expect to see him down there on that 3-3. I was going to go back to the whoops, but we just missed it. So now Cash Woods leads this race. He's buried in lap traffic. 5-second gap to Joey Carter now.
Yeah, man, that's just crazy. It's a bummer we didn't see it, but it was in that same exact spot that he's been making mistakes all race. We saw it 3 times before then, and then we missed what happened, but same thing. I wonder if he tried to scrub the double out of that section or whatever he's been doing and just got a little bit too antsy. And Cash Woods, honestly, besides 1 or 2 small mistakes early on, has looked great behind him. You know, maybe not the speed. Ooh, jumping wide here, trying to get around the lap, or able to hold on to it. Runs up into the bales just a little bit. But I think Cash Woods might be the more consistent rider. Definitely looks a little bit smoother in his riding style. You don't need the speed if you keep it on 2 wheels for 15 minutes plus 2.
We got a change for second, by the way, as Schiavone has gotten around Joey Carter. So Schiavone has just been inching that gap down. And here's the battle for second now, because Carter is still right there. But don't look now. Jeremy Schiavone could factor into this race by the end of it. And, again, we'll go back to iMoto and chat. I thought Schiavone had a win. I guess he does not, which this could this break the longest race starts without a win drought for Schiavone? Because he's been in a lot of races. I mean, we raced him back in the day as well. So that would be crazy if he could get up there and do something about it. But yeah, Cash Woods still checking out front a little bit, 6-second lead. Tharp goes 58 flat, now in 4th place. He's only 13 seconds back. We're running out of time as there's only 3.5 minutes on the clock. Obviously, plus that 1 lap at the end of the race, but anything is still possible, man.
Yeah, Squid Bro has been around forever. I mean, he's got a nickname from when we were only racing with nicknames, and then we went to everyone having their real name out there. So kind of crazy, but yeah, just a bummer for Joey Carter with that early going down right there. But he's solidified himself in second now. Doesn't have too much pressure. Doesn't have to worry about it. But Cash Woods way out front. also doesn't have to worry about it. He is the first one going through lappers. We're 12 minutes into this, so only has to stay up for 3 minutes plus a lap, and this race is going to be his on that iSpec Pretty Princess machine. And he's looking like a pretty princess out here up front, just absolutely destroying the field and picking his way through lappers as he needs to.
Got an update from chat from Carl Novak. Sounds like Tharp just went down big out of 4th place. He's back to 5th. 1:08.8 last time by, so yeah, lost some time for sure. And honestly, the biggest problem right now for Cash Woods is he's run into the back of a pretty valiant battle going on right now. I'm trying to get the names on who's up here, but there's 3 riders running nose to tail, and one of them just went down big right in front of him. Is he going to jump into him? No, he's going to get by safely. But that is the kind of stuff that you got to watch out for late in a race like this. Only 6 seconds back to Joey Carter, so a legs off crash for Cash Woods would spell the end of his race lead. Question is, does he hold on for these final 3 minutes, or 2 minutes in a lap, I should say? The clock is ticking, and those lappers are still sitting there. He's not been able to clear any of them just yet.
I think Cash does have it in the bag. I do think a lot of the lappers that he is going to pass are going to be ones going down around him, so he just kind of has to pick his way through, make sure his reaction time is on point. And just, notice when something's happening. And speaking of noticing, like when someone's crashing, as there's a small mistake right there, he's going to get by as they go over the berm. Ooh. I love how fast that we've been around Supercross, Motocross, especially in Sim, that you can just see a millisecond clip of someone and just know they're absolutely dying on the side of the screen. How fast we knew there was going to be a rider down going over the bars. That was just awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, so Cash Woods, I believe, won at Arlington again. iMoto could correct me if I'm wrong, but he won earlier this year. I think it was his 2nd career win, if I'm not mistaken. Joey Carter is inching closer now, thanks to some mistakes from Cash Woods. 3.9 seconds now the gap. And for those asking points lead-wise, it is still Tharp by a long ways, so nothing is going to change here tonight. He was 47 points up. He's going to leave still pretty far up, even with a 6th-place result. But Cash Woods is starting to feel a little bit more of the heat now into the final minute of this race. So it's going to be 2 laps to go next time by. Joey Carter is pushing, trying to get back to a position where he could fight with Cash Woods, and there's still lap traffic up ahead. Oh, Woods, he's still going for that triple in. He got it clean this time. Didn't get it clean last time by. And here's Carter, 3-3 as well. So he's keeping it close. 2 to go this time by. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Woods hasn't fully reached the lappers yet, which is still good, but maybe by the end of the whoops and the finish line, he will. 3-second gap back to Joey Carter. And then cool thing, Jake Spieth, lap and a half ago, ran the fastest lap of the race in 4th, only 3 seconds off of Schiavro. So he's got his own little battle he's going in. And Cash Woods, you saw a rider go down right there in the whoops. So another rider that he doesn't actually have to pass. Being a lapper out there, he just has to kind of see them fall and avoid it and keep focusing on his race. So 15-minute mark is out, so we have just almost fully 2 laps to go that he has to bring it. But look on the left side of your screen as you see that bright purple gear of Joey Carter on the Dr. Do racing machine. Ooh, small mistake by Cash Woods.
Traffic, watch out here. Here comes Joey Carter. He just ran his fastest lap of the race, and now he's on him for the race lead. Oh, Carter a little bit short, not going to get the triple. Lap traffic doesn't hit him. Wow, that guy front flipped and rode out of it. I can't believe that. Now Carter has to go 2-3 here. He's going to lose a little bit of time. Cash Woods is going to come and take the white flag this time by, but Joey Carter's going full send to try to get there and win this race. Into the whoops we go. Little bounce there for Woods, and another big mistake coming into that corner. 1 to go here in Seattle. Who's going to win this one?
Yeah, great run through the whoops, and you see on that camera shot, no lappers for a long time in front of these two, so it's mano a mano. Joey Carter has found another gear here, and he is absolutely pushing it. Why not push it if you're going for a win right here when you can get it? Cash Woods is playing defense mode, just trying to hit his marks. Just send it. If he goes down, he goes down. It doesn't matter. Dr. Do Racing Machine scrubs. You're going to see a lot of that in these rhythms. Let's see if they can both nail this big rhythm section here.
Carter looks a little bit more put together now late in the race. I'm not sure if it's based on the way the track is broken down or what, but look at this. He's going to case in,
they both
and then
do.
Triple's almost onto his back. Into the race lead. Joey Carter goes. He's got it, and he goes down. He cases that triple in and goes down. Cash Woods gets it right back in the next corner. Unbelievable sequence of events. Now he's just got to get through the whoops clean. 1 more run to go. Triples into the whoops. And for the second time in 2025, Cash Woods wins here in Seattle.
Oh my God, what an awesome race by Cash Woods. Joey Carter left it all on the line. He's going to be questioning tripling in there over and over and over because I don't even think Cash Woods did it in front of him. He could have just double tripled. There's only 5 jumps in that rhythm section. That's not a deal breaker. We see Holyhead White Drizzle coming along in 5th, was in a tight battle. Braden Tharp ends up finishing in 6th after being way back on the start. That's your points leader and probably future championship winner. Show is stuck in the Davos Bales as Cano comes through just behind him. 7th and 8th place there. No, Cano is stuck in the number 69 machine.
Wow.
Is he going to lose spots?
No. Yeah, Jackson Vick going to get a freebie spot right there. But yeah, Cano's going to pick it up in 9th. I cannot believe that. Joey Carter, I cannot believe it. 6.1 seconds the gap at the end of this one as well. Yeah, if you're Joey Carter, you're absolutely right. He is going to think about that triple in. He's going to go to bed thinking about that tonight. He's going to think, damn it, dude, I should have just doubled.
I don't know why they both cased the triple in to the section before and both cased the triple out, and you had a weird up the inside line, and I'm just like, I guess you got to think he's probably going to do it, right? He's in front. I got to do it too, but the fact that you would have a 2-3 to the inside on the next corner, I just feel like that's a small lapse of judgment. Adrenaline was racing. Oh my, that was the most raw emotion I've had in a while. Instant double hands on head screaming like, what is happening?
Oh man, that is wild. I mean, he had it that for 3 seconds of Joey Carter's life, he probably had like euphoria for a second. That's probably why he panicked and went for that triple in. But
the second he landed on the triple, then all through that berm, then the second he left the lip and he knew it, he just was in bliss and ecstasy, and then straight to just hell. Oh, poor Joey.
Break. A tough break indeed, but gotta respect the send. Gotta respect how he even got there in the first place. He was ripping to get into the race lead and goes down on the last lap of the race. Bummer deal indeed for him, but obviously another breakthrough win for Cash Woods. I mean, 2-time winner now in the season. It must be said, man, he's really come to play here in the second half of this championship.
Yeah, always cool to see like an up-and-coming guy, right? Kind of you get your first win, okay, then you can back it up in the same season. That is absolutely huge, I feel like, just for your confidence, for your kind of career and everything you're going to kind of do in the game. If I won twice in the same season after my first win, I would have felt like a god, and no one was touching me for the next season or the rest of the season. So yeah, Braden Tharp's checked out in the championship, but Cash Woods has to be just riding an absolute high. Joey Carter's got to feel good about that too. I'm just glad we at least got to see the pass get made, because so many times guys push like that and just go down before we even get that. So a little dopamine boost for us, and then yeah, absolutely crazy. And this 450 class is definitely not going to disappoint.
Oh man, this 450 class main event should be awesome. Braden Carter looking for another win, trying to pull out from a 21-point championship lead over his teammate Colby Eaglin to something bigger than that. But there's a lot of guys that want to win this race, including Seth Shirley, still looking for his first win of 2025. 20 minutes plus 1 lap, round 11 of MotoOption Supercross, ready to come at you here from Seattle. Strap in, folks. This is going to be a good one. Who is going to get the all-important Race Factor Gaming hole shot? Who will win this 11th round of the championship? It all comes down to this. The 30 card is sideways. The revs are up. Let's drop the gate here in Seattle. Couple guys hit the gate as a bad start for the 22 of Castellaneta there gets swallowed up, and up the inside, that is Seth Shirley getting the Race Factor Gaming hole shot. He goes 3-4 into the race lead. Right behind him, Adam Holm comes with Leclerc up here as well. T-Lang, Sullivan's got a good start, and Carter is in about 7th place as everyone gets a pretty good jump out of this one. Shirley leads early on.
Yeah, there's a couple things you don't want to see if you're Braden Carter. It's Seth Shirley up front, who has elite speed, and Alexis Leclerc, who you had beef with, and notoriously hard to pass in 3rd, running strong. A lot of guys really close in this 450 class, really close together here at the beginning, as we have a special guest coming into the studio again. But Seth Shirley is going to lead us around for the first race here.
Shirley leads the first lap of the race. Here comes my daughter. What does she have to say to the fans tonight? Are you a pterodactyl or what?
Dude, this is
All right, good night. Love you. Have a good time. Oh, man. All right, back to the action at hand as we got Shirley leading Adam Holm, T-Lang, Sullivan, and Carter inside of the top 5. So Carter, from all that chaos in the heat race, ends up coming out pretty good. Good night. As he is in the 5th spot there right behind Luke Sullivan. Good spot for him to be in, especially with looks like his teammate a little bit further down the order. I don't see the 24 in our top 15 right now for Colby Eaglin, so some work to do. And, yeah, pretty good spot for Carter to be in here.
Yeah, you would think with a Braden Carter's, 7th, 8th place start or whatever, you're going to want to be looking for Colby Eaglin there. And as I just saw it all the way back in 16th on our timing dualies from some of those guys up front. Not on the main screen, though. You got to do it right front and center. Hopefully Braden Carter will get us some as he's chasing down Luke Sullivan, trying to keep working his way up here. But when your closest, when you have a good points lead and your closest championship competitor is behind you by 7 or 8 spots, that's a really good feeling to have.
Yeah, well, for him, I think maybe just playing it safe early here, not going down and falling back to where Eaglin is on the racetrack is the optimal decision for him, which is maybe why he hasn't gone for a move on Sully just yet. Good fight for second, though, actually going on. T-Lang is all over Adam Holm. A couple outdoor specialists who have fought for the championships over the years. Multi-time world champion Adam Holm, 2021 national champ T-Lang up the inside to move into second. Going to get him in a little bit of a logjam right there as Sully crosses over behind Holm, almost gets into the back of him. Now Carter's just like, forget this. I'm going to go inside, try to make the pass doubling in. Sully splits the gap, gets into third. Carter gets sideways, and it's Adam Holm that ends up going down.
Yeah, I like that you saw Braden Carter and Sully both kind of peel off to the inside on the same line and just knowing like, hey, you click in 5th and we're going for this? All right, cool. And just knew, and it had him in the perfect spot to avoid Adam Holm as someone just goes down
T-Lang
hard over the bars. T-Lang misses a shift or mistimes a seat bounce or a scrub or something, rides his front wheel straight into the triple. That was a little bit a la McAdoo at Daytona or where was it? Whatever.
Atlanta.
Somewhere in the speedway, over the bars, into the face of a jump. T-Lang, hope you're okay. He's back on the bike. Seth Shirley, though, still out front, cruising around on his JIBR.co machine and just absolutely trying to cruise away. Ooh, Leclerc dropped back to 8th. I did not see that.
Ooh, yeah.
But Luke Sullivan and Carter now in 2nd and 3rd, trying to give chase. A little bit different lines here. Let's see what works. Sullivan's got really good speed, just like Carter does in the whoops.
This has the makings for a great race as Shirley checks in with a 57.7 out front. New fastest lap of the race. But again, not too far gone of these two gentlemen right here. Luke Sullivan, your reigning MX Simulator Playoffs world champion in 2nd. He's also looking for his first win of the year here in Supercross, whereas, of course, Braden Carter trying to extend that championship lead, holding on to a strong 3rd, pushing Sully all the way forward as they try to work on running down Seth Shirley out front. Interesting to see 450 guys, no one's going for the big lines. Everyone's just doing this easy on-off, 3-3 on-off, and trying to keep it steady here in the early runnings.
Yeah, I think the thing you have to realize, or the spectators need to learn, is the racers only have an hour on the track. Luke Sullivan through the front door, mistimes his seat bounce and almost messes up Carter there. So Sully out of podium position. He's going to fall way back as you see all these guys passing. But when we first see these guys in the heat race, they have just over an hour on the racetrack, and they kind of know the big lines, but not what's going to be consistent for racing all night. And they get to practice kind of throughout the night until we get to the main event, and they get to figure out their race lines, what works the best, what works for battling. And I think these guys just got away from the big quad. It's cool if you want a hot lap, but not if you want to win a 450 main event.
Fair point enough indeed. And Braden Carter goes fastest lap of the race at a 57.562 in 2nd place. He is reeling in Seth Shirley ever so slightly in the early stages of this. We still have almost 15 minutes and a lap left to go of this main event. So this could get really good as Carter tries to run down the rookie Seth Shirley in this race. Who's your money on this one? We got the fast young kid in Seth Shirley who was great in his heat race versus Carter, who had an atrocious heat race. Bad start, but now he's in a great position, and we know he knows how to win these races.
Yeah, if you ask me, early on in the race when Braden Carter was in 8th or 9th and Shirley was out front, I think, I'm still going to say Braden Carter, but Braden Carter just tries a small scrub there. You guys saw it straight in your living room. I thought
re-entry.
Oh my gosh. So he's back up in maybe about 6th place right now.
Yeah.
So 7th place for Braden Carter getting back up. I still think that Braden Carter can do it. We're only 6 minutes into this race. I think if you asked me before, I would have said no, but then he easily worked his way up, and I think a lot of that helps with having a bad heat race start and having to kind of work his way through on the same exact track and knowing how to battle from behind. He was able to get all the way up in the second there, pressuring for the lead. And now he dropped back from one small mistake, but I think Braden Carter still has it in him and has the elite speed to be able to get up there and maybe challenge for this win.
There's a hellacious battle going on in front of him. Jeff Cooper and Frank Jackson exchanging blows. Carter jumps to the outside, gets both of them, but then jumps off the track. Got to be careful here. He's going to try to get back on in the whoops, and that's not going to go good. And he's taking riders with him. He took down T-Lang. That's the wrong person to have an illegal track re-entry in front of and go down with. Or was that Sully that he went?
Sully on the yellow.
But yes, bad track re-entry there for Braden Carter trying to get back on in the whoops and goes back to 14th. So suddenly he's back here behind Colby Eagland, who has now made a pass on him.
I would like to change my pick. I think that I think that Seth Shirley is going to win this race. I think maybe it did just get in his head. You know, maybe there was that thinking, you know, not again. You know, why? Like, I made that mistake on my own that time. What am I doing? You know? So, and I think Braden Carter sometimes struggles with that, and he doesn't need to. Like I said, he's still right there with Eagland as he makes another big mistake, loses 2 more spots, a rider down there. But, man, a lot happening right here. Braden Carter not going to really hurt him for the championship, but definitely not going to come home with the win tonight as his teammate comes up the inside of him right there.
Yeah, that was Seabolt making the pass on him, and then Carter tries to go right back at him again as all the while that's Castellaneta, his ex-teammate on the field ski and snowboard Yamaha, right behind him. So we've watched a lot of Carter in this race as he's been kind of thrown around a bit, and he's going to get right back by Seabolt there. Meanwhile, up front, Shirley's now got himself an 8.3 second lead here in Seattle. 58 flat last time by. Not his best, but only 3/10 off of his personal best, so he's right there in it. And then Xander Brion has moved up into second. Sam Weigman in third. A couple faces that I don't think has ever been on the podium here in the 450 class. Running second and third right now. Good opportunity for them to do some damage, but also great opportunity for Alexis Leclerc right behind them to get his name back on the box as well.
Yeah, Xander Brion, I can assure you, not been on the podium while I was here. Absolutely great ride by him. And he finished, was it on the bubble in the heat race or through the LCQ? He was not, or he was very far back, like not one of the guys battling up front. So really cool to see him kind of flip that switch here in the main event and be running up front strong, trying to fight off Weigman, though. Weigman had a great heat race earlier too, so we were watching him with a lot of speed. See what these guys can do. A lot of new faces up front, and I love when we get to see that, especially late in the series. Really get to spice it up a little bit. Ooh, big mistake by Brion as that allows Weigman to go up the inside.
Yeah, Sam Weigman goes through, and shout out iMoto in chat letting us know no podiums for either of these riders. So this is a bit of a white knuckle moment for them as we approach the halfway point of this race. But here comes the fast Frenchman, 5-time national motocross champion in the game and 2018 MotoOption Supercross champ. Alexis Leclerc is here to play. He's going to get third as Weigman slides out. He's trying to pass his countryman Xander Brion to the outside, and Weigman goes down. Leclerc triples by into second place, and Brion goes back to third. Here comes Frank Jackson. He's bringing Jeff Cooper with him, and suddenly Brion is a bit of a sitting duck here as some of the more fast riders on the regular circuit are getting up here to throw him around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you've been up there for 10 minutes, though, so you really just got to lock in and say, okay, I've done it this long. Why can't I continue to do it? I know they're right there on me, but those guys make mistakes also as Brion absolutely tosses it for all of his fans right there, but then pushes his front just a little bit. Ooh, and still able to grease that line there, holds on to his position for now, has the inside line. Nice little battle here between these guys trying to chase down Alexis Leclerc.
Update on Braden Carter, still 11th place behind Sullivan and Colby Eagland in 9th. So Eagland gaining a couple of points, but obviously huge points tonight right now for Seth Shirley, who came in 37 points down and is trying to maximize his points haul as much as he can. And Braden Carter is not doing the damage back, trying to keep his points gap as steady as it was. So here we go. Look at that pass right there as Frank Jackson jumps over Brion, takes him down. Jeff Cooper goes down as well. Schaefer goes by, and then here's that train of riders in here. That is, Carter getting by all that mess. This is that battle right now. That's Sully Eagland and Carter nose to tail over the line. They are 7, 8, and 9 now as they made a couple passes in that chaos.
Yeah, and these are some of the fastest in the world at this game, and you get to watch them all separated by about 0.4 of a second. So we should probably keep an eye on this battle here. Get a little bit of duels. Nothing big, though, tonight. We got to get some heavy hitters. Oh, look at that. Braden kind of pushing Eagland out of that rut as Eagland missed it with one wheel but was still in it. Now we got these two going side by side into the long rhythm. Does anyone get this cleaner than the other, or are they going to stay even here and it's going to come down to these tight sections back and forth? I also like a lot of these guys are struggling staying on the track with that outside triple before the whoops, and these fast guys are going for it because it allows them to get a really good run through it. That's where Carter made mistakes too, staying on the track earlier and initially went down.
Yeah, this is a great fight between teammates, championship rivals going at it, but playing pretty respectfully with each other thus far, and really no dive bomb attempt that I've seen from Carter on Eagland just yet, as we have now crested past the 12-minute mark of this race. Only 8 minutes and a lap left to go, so not much time on the table to try to get something done if you're Braden Carter in this situation, still running in the 9th position. Oh, we got a rider that's hung up. That's
Carter's
Sam
into
Weigman,
him.
and Carter got hung up the worst out of that. He's going to lose 3 positions, goes back to 12th thanks to that little exchange. That was Sam Weigman that was hung up right there, the I-Spec rider, and now Carter's got even more work to do. This is not going well for him here tonight at all.
No, it's so hard for him where he just went down too, seeing a guy that kind of tipped over and made a small mistake in a rut, but that's really the only thing you can do. You're just praying that they get up, and he did end up getting into him, losing a couple more spots. I think Braden Carter just needs to survive this night, just finish better than 15th, get on with, shake your head, wipe your hands off and get on with it. He's trying to make a pass right here up the inside, and he almost gets into him a little bit. Doolies over the finish right there, side by side, opposite way whips. Braden Carter still trying to make a pass here, but man, he's fighting a lot more than he really wishes he had to.
Look at this race going on right in front of him right now. This is insane. We got Weigman, Eagland, Siebold all right here, and guys getting crossed up. No one knows where they're going or what they're doing. And we got 4 or 5 different lines coming together right now. That is a pass by Siebold on Castellaneta and Weigman. Then Siebold goes down, pushes Castellaneta off the track. Meanwhile, Eagland got by all that. He's up to 7th, and that's going to be a couple free spots as well for Braden Carter, actually, as he stays in 12th. He just got around, Adam Holm to go into 11th. So a couple more spots gained still behind Jeff Cooper. And, man, this is all kinds of chaos going on right now as this man just continues to click off the laps out front. Pretty much exactly what he needed to do tonight. If you're Seth Surley, finally a good start. Whole shot the main event, and off and running he has gone. I don't know what he did in this week coming off of Birmingham, because his starts have been a bit of his kryptonite this year, but tonight they've been on point.
Yeah, what sucks is Seth is like one of my guys, always out there kind of rooting for him, and he's loving me rooting for him, and I didn't pick him to win. I just feel bad because he's absolutely dominating right now. I just thought with the speed that Braden Carter showed before that one small mistake off the ski jump that he might have something for him, but Seth Surley looks absolutely great out front. Brought this to 12 seconds over someone like Alexis Leclerc, who's no slouch at all, past champion, multi-time champion, and just Seth Surley absolutely dominating. And maybe this is it. Maybe late in the season, you get these guys, you don't have this title, but you're starting to get that confidence. These guys that moved up from the 250 class, have showed some really good speed, but then kind of fallen off the map just a little bit as far as being in the limelight 24/7. And they start catching some more wins, gives them some strength in the outdoors. And maybe next season we have someone to dethrone Braden Carter if he ends up 5-peating this.
Just from a math perspective, for those keeping tabs at home, Shirley entering 37 points down in the championship is currently gaining 13 points on Braden Carter as it runs. Obviously, still some race to go here in this one, but 13-point swing would obviously bring him down to 24 points back. It's still a long road ahead in 6 races to go to get back from 24 points, but it at least kind of brings him back into a fringe discussion for this championship. But as I say that, Carter gets a couple more spots. It's now down to an 11-point swing, and we're going from 37 to 26 back. Eagland's only going to gain 1 point as it stands, so you'd go from 21 back to 20 back. Not much in the way of that. Needed to be up here battling with these guys, and it's just not coming to fruition. Austin Schaefer, really good 4th place run. T-Lang still holding on to 5th ahead of Luke Sullivan. There is Eaglin getting sideways and going down, so forget about gaining any points. He's losing them because there goes Carter by into 7th, and a couple more spots will be lost as well as Eaglin gets it going just before that little battle between Holm and Seabolt gets there. Not what Eaglin needs. It seems like every time he might have an opportunity to gain some points back by the handful on Carter, it just doesn't happen, either through mistakes of his own or bad starts or things along those lines.
Yeah, the crazy thing is he went down doing the exact same thing we saw Braden Carter crash on earlier. Just trying to scrub that single out to gain, maybe 100th. Like, not a lot of time you're getting scrubbing out of that, unless it's just for some feeling that you like, but it makes you end up going down, and that's just a bummer for these guys to kind of throw it away on such small things on the track. It's not like you're pushing for something or trying to rail a corner, just a little ski jump. You're trying to get to the ground faster and ends up taking out 2 of the best guys here tonight.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for Eaglin not to gain those points, but on the flip side, good news for Braden Carter. He's working on T-Lang now for 6th. Even more points could fall his way late in this race as he shorts the triple. Very nice save. I thought that was going to end up in a bit of a disaster for him once again, but T-Lang trying to hold steady, keep the number 1 machine behind him. Good run for T-Lang, who's starting to come around in Supercross a little bit once again. I feel like earlier this year, this was not the T-Lang that we are seeing now, and that's not the T-Lang that we're used to seeing either. Big mistake in the ruts, of all places, costs him a position. Carter goes by into the 6th spot, and those points that he was losing on Shirley and Eaglin just chipping down more and more.
Yeah, I mean, I said at least with Eaglin, just get like top 15, you'll still have like a 20-point buffer or whatever. Like, you'll be able to kind of hold on to it, but every single time he is able to make a pass, work his way back up. These races are so long. We have 2 minutes plus a lap to go, but it was still in the first 10 minutes that we saw him kind of falling apart, and you think, oh man, it's over. He has the time. He has the time to be able to make something happen. And I don't know. It's just he's really been able to settle himself down. I think that's good. And it kind of, if the door opens and people think they're going to get points back, all he has to do is have 10 good minutes on the track, and you're screwed for next week because he's going to come back with a vengeance.
Yep, indeed. All right, so it is now P6 for Carter. 5th right here for Frank Jackson. Sully has climbed all the way into 3rd or 4th. Now 3rd, actually. Just got Schaefer. This is a great fight right now for 3rd place. Still a 15-second lead for Seth Shirley over Alexis Leclerc, who's 8 seconds up from this battle. But, man, Sully, another guy that if he could just start up front and stay up front, he might win one of these dang races. But every single time I see him, it's always a late last few lap kind of charge to get on the box. And for him, he's probably getting frustrated with that situation because he probably wants to get up there and be like Shirley and win one of these things.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to get up there and win one of these things, but ending up with a podium, I feel like is pretty good. He's got to have one eye looking backwards like Mike Wazowski, though, looking back at Austin Schaefer and kind of thinking that he might be able to lose this podium. I'm not sure if it's, oh my goodness, and he almost throws it away right there. It's hard to focus when you want to be a race winner. You've had so much good success in SMX playoffs, and then you come out here and you've been struggling kind of all year, but then getting a podium towards the end and kind of bringing it. I also think that Sullivan is an outdoor guy, so I do think that he's going to be able to kind of keep rolling this in the next week, and then come out swinging at the beginning of outdoors.
Carter's climbed up to 5th in the background, by the way, as well. He just got around Schaefer, who was running 3rd for a very long time and went down. So we'll give him a little bit of due credit right there for his strong run, now falling really far down the order, man. He lost a lot of positions that last lap. He's all the way back into a battle for 9th with T-Lang, so he's probably a bit frustrated and flustered with his situation. A little bit of something to keep an eye on here is that Carter, as the laps wind down, still has Eaglin in his hip pocket back there, about 3 seconds back of him. So you never know what could happen in that fight. But what is happening is this man has taken off and ran away with this Seattle Supercross. 17-second lead, final lap of the race, just got to navigate lap traffic, and this race is his.
Yeah, surely just absolute domination, so much confidence he's got to have tonight. I mean, it's just, he put on an absolute clinic, had a great start and has just been able to put it together. And I know we haven't watched him too much because that's the downside of having such a huge lead, is we can't just watch you go around and put down perfect laps for 20 minutes. We have to call like the racing and the action. But I mean, I don't think he's made many mistakes, if any at all. He just looks like he's completely dialed in. The whoops look like no problem now as they're broken down, getting flatter, and he takes this thing home and just wins it by 20 seconds.
Seth Shirley takes the win tonight here in Seattle for his first win of 2025, his second career 450 victory, as Alexis Leclerc, a distant 20 seconds back, will bring this thing home in P2. A good return to the podium for Leclerc, who has had a very up and down season. Luke Sullivan does indeed complete the podium here tonight, just in front of Frank Jackson, 0.2 of a second. Very close between those two at the end. And Braden Carter climbs all the way back into the top 5. He will end up in 5th.
Yeah, great ride by Braden to kind of bring that back. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
He's just leading so out front, so bad, so fast that, I didn't think he was going to hit the finish already.
Eaglin, Siebold,
Hole, Lang, Cooper coming back. Let's see. Ooh, in a battle to the end. Chromie takes out Seth Carr. Seth Carr goes down trying to pass Chromie on the outside. Carr stuck in the Davalos Bale. Is going to lose another spot here as he's going to come across the line in 13th. Schaefer gets by him in the 12th. Disconnects instantly. Seth Carr, last one across the finish line, where Caleb Hall is. Weigman, Brion, Nerona, Castellaneta, Spencer Turley, Tanner Rogers, Joseph Pilsner, and Maverick Snyder round out the top 22. But the man, Seth Shirley, takes it home.
And look at that. He's even given us a little bit of a nice
Oh my God, he's
here.
the GOAT.
FX on YouTube, baby. Check it out here on Start Your Systems. Thanks to Seth Shirley for a little bit of love right there at the end. His first win of the season. Many congratulations to him. So yeah, he should gain, if my math is correct, 8 points on the night over Braden Carter. So go from 37 back to 29. Still not within a race distance, but at least a little bit better. And, honestly, all you can hope is that he just tries to win races down the stretch. That's probably his goal at this point, is just to win races down the stretch, and starts off with a bang here in Seattle.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I guess for the fans and for us, you would like to see that have been Colby Eaglin, right? Or keep Colby Eaglin to be the one that's kind of putting those points, not having that big mistake late, and just slowly clawing the championship back when Braden Carter does start back in 10th and then have to work his way back to 5th. And it's just a bummer when you have those guys kind of flip-flopping, because Carter, even his bad races, he's still really consistent and can kind of bring it home. So, but that's how he's won 4 titles in a row, and that's how he's going to try to continue to do it through 5 titles if he can secure this one. Still a lot of racing left to go. You miss one main event, finished 20th one time. Those guys are right back in it. So going to be cool to watch Shirley and Eaglin try to kind of claw their way back into the title fight.
Indeed, it will. And so I think now it is 22 points up on Eaglin, 29 up on Seth Shirley, as we are just about, one full race distance up on this championship fight for Braden Carter. Great 250 main event. That was won by Cash Woods. Joey Carter gave us the goods all the way down to the end of that one. He's been in the chat post-race talking with some of you guys. And we feel for you, Joey, man. That was a hell of a ride to get there. So close to the end. Just didn't work out in your favor. But hey, there's always a couple weeks back now when you go racing 450s out on the East Coast. Come back and try to win in Denver or in the showdown in Pittsburgh, for example. Shout out Jake Spees as well. Prime sub for his 6th month in the Twitch chat. Thanks so much for the support, and thanks to all of you guys for tuning in tonight. Fun night of racing here from Seattle. We had some great battles, man.
Yeah, it's the first race didn't start out like premiere, and I was like, oh no, like what's gonna happen? And then instantly started to deliver. So I love it, man. We even late in the series, we could have no championship battle and just have these guys come out and race and give it their all, and we would still be able to have some of the best competition, the best racing. And I love it. We can find battles anywhere on the track, and these guys, they provide. Shout out Joey Carter. Shout out Cash Woods. Shout out to Seth Shirley. All of our race winners and championship contenders going out there and putting on the show for us week in and week out.
Yep, the show was a real one tonight here in Seattle. Thanks so much again to MotoOption Clothing for backing these series as long as they have. RaceFactorGaming.com and the RaceFactor Gaming track crew for all the work they do behind the scenes to make this series happen. And like I said, all of you guys that tune in every single week. Round 11 is behind us. We are down to the final 5 races of Supercross in 2025 up the road from now. Or final 6, I should say. I can't math tonight, but final 6 races to go. And we'll be back back next week, same time, same place for the Foxborough Supercross in MX Simulator, 6:15 p.m. Pacific. That's 9:15 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday, live here on Start Your Systems TV on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and hopefully TikTok next week as well. So wherever you choose to tune in, we appreciate the support, and thank you guys so much for watching round 11 of MotoOption Supercross from Seattle. We'll see you guys next week in Foxborough. So long for now.